Hello, and welcome. See, some people I wanted in here already here. Hello, replay. Hello, Jora. Hello, Mary. It's good to see you. It was quite an unexpected live this evening. I wasn't expecting to go live. I was expecting just to have a look around the tubes because I was at work. I was at work I got home about an hour and a half ago, I think, something like that. And I saw Jora was live, and I popped in. Let me get up on my phone. Goodness. I can see chat better on my phone. Oh, God, I can't get up now. And Jora was live, and I saw Jora was live. And why can't I can't get my chat on my phone? That's no good. Hold on. And I popped in to say hello. Oh, here we are. I've got it up. And there was chatters and some people thinking, what the heck? Hey, Jora.
Hi, I'm not the special guest, by the way.
Of course you're a special guest.
No, it's not me. There's someone else coming. But I said I would come up
Hi,
for a wee
Amber.
bit. I said I would come up for a wee bit.
Yes, I'm very welcome.
This is a turn up for the books, to say the
It's
least.
quite unexpected, very unexpected. But as I said, I saw you was live. I got back from work about an hour and a half because I will go and replay. I missed the first bit because I was at work. So I was popping around the tube. You was up there, and I was like, I'm going to say hello. And of course, these are going to be questions. And JD had questions, and she has every right to have questions because as subscribers, you see things going on. You go, what the fuck? And they have every right to ask questions. So I don't mind JD asking the hard questions at all.
Yeah.
Of course, people have questions. And the special guest that we have this evening, and Joe is very special too,
No,
is
not really.
Amber is going to join us this evening. And we're going to have an open
Do,
conversation.
do.
Dun. The thing is, with Amber and I and Jura, we can at least be respectful to we're grown-ups, we're grown ladies, we can. And Mary, you're very welcome too if you want to come up as well.
Absolutely. Look, we've all said and done things, and yeah, we have. I was surprised that you and Amber were willing to have this conversation. I didn't initiate it; it was both you ladies.
Yeah.
And I'm glad that
Yeah. And who knows what can happen? I mean, if we can even it out a little bit, if we can lessen the animosity a little bit, great, but who knows?
exactly. I mean, you do go in similar chats, so it makes sense.
Yeah. I think with Amber and I, it does go back a long time. I think that's what a lot of people don't understand is that there's a previous history. It's not just sometimes people come in, they've been here a year or two. We've been here 5 or 6 years now. And there's niggles that may go back years, people don't understand that. I'm sure there's a contingent of people that think that we don't get on because of liking or something like that. Well, that's not the case.
That's not right. No.
We all go back a long way. Hello, Mary. Hello, Amber. You're very, very welcome.
Hi, Mary. Hi, Amber.
Pardon my nakedness. I don't know where my avatar went.
Mary, you're naked.
I know.
I think if you go to change avatar,
She's been thinking of that Jonathan Rumi. Or is it Rumi? Is that how you say his last name?
Yeah, Jonathan Rumi. He's my heartthrob. Oh my God. I was talking to Amber last night, and I was telling her how my pastor kept telling me that Jonathan Rumi comes to our church, and I kept saying, where? I've never seen him. Well, Sunday, I'm just sitting there, and all of a sudden I see this guy walking up for communion, and I'm looking at him going, that looks like Jonathan. And sure enough, it was him. I was like, oh my God. I was like a little schoolgirl. It was ridiculous.
That is so sweet. And also, Mary, I really did enjoy your Amityville discussion
Yes.
video.
Hmm.
I really genuinely did. I was like, oh my God, she lived near Amityville. Mike, you need to tell us more about that.
Yeah, I lived about 15 minutes from there, and I cut George Lutz's hair, and I was like, I thought it was a little weird when I cut his hair, but I didn't really know the whole. It was way before the movie and the book came out, so I didn't really know the extent of it.
Yeah.
Well,
Well,
On that note,
I think I just want to start off by saying
yes,
that,
yes.
you know, Juror actually, she had told me, she said, you know, I had a talk with Sagacious, you know, the other day, and she can even tell you, like, the first thing I said, oh, that's awesome. You know, like, here's my thing. I know that you guys had a long friendship, and I kind of always just felt like, damn, I don't want to be like the reason why they're not, you know, friends anymore, or, you know, have any effect on that. So I'm not going to be unhappy that you guys are, you know, talking again and whatnot.
Yeah, thank you. And I did say thank you when Joe was chatting. I meant it. You know, I said thank you, you know, because there is going to be people with questions. JD has every right to have questions because, you know, subscribers get put in the middle. And of course, there's questions. And I might have questions in my chat. People might say, what the fuck? But I did appreciate when you said that, you know, that you understand that Joe and I did have a previous, and I'm the same, you know, back to you. Do you know what I mean? I respect yours and Joe's friendship too.
Yeah. Yeah. I think what people were probably, at least I want to, based off of Mary's comment, what she was kind of speculating, or people might have been speculating, was like, oh, is this because Jamie came up and apologized to Amber? So now is she like, well, that's it, I'm going back to Juror? And I don't think that's the case.
No, it wasn't actually. Joe and I's friendship is very, very separate to YouTube in a way. Obviously, it's intertwined with YouTube because we talk about YouTube sometimes. Obviously, you know, that's how we met. But we do talk about other things, and it was a long friendship. And I think I can't speak for Joe, but for me, I just didn't want to fall out with Joe. And it's the same with Mary as well. When you've had and I think it's probably the same with, like, people might be asking questions about you and Jamie, and I think when you had that bond and that friendship, you at some point you just want to go, do you know what? I just want that friendship back. And however that is,
Yeah.
I mean, it might not be the same as previous, but you know, there's certain people you just don't want to fall out with because you've had such a long, you know.
Yeah, you have like a long, you have a long time
Relationship
with them, and
Yeah.
you know, for me, I mean, I didn't want to keep, you know, I know people, you know, are judging and whatnot, but you know, for me, I didn't want to keep carrying around like that massive amount of hate. And you know, I'm fine to, like, I didn't enjoy going back and forth. That wasn't something that was a fun time for me at all.
I think for me, I want to be completely honest with you and I think some people, and I'm going to be bluntly honest, some people have this scenario where I've been absolutely terrible to you for no reason. And I think, look, there was some back and forth. You've been up there, you've called me a cunt, you've called me a bitch. And that's fine. That's the thing. What I'm not saying one is better than the other. We're probably both at fault. But what I'm saying, it wasn't this one way thing. Like, it just wasn't.
No, but you know, I do want to ask though,
Mhm.
because I do kind of feel like, you did have a huge dislike for me, and if you just didn't like me, I mean, that's fine. I get it. I'm not everybody's
It goes
cup of
way
tea,
back. No.
but-
It does go way back. You know, back.
Okay.
When that happened to you with the BAM thing, I stuck up for you big time, and I got a lot of shit for that. And a real lot of shit. You know, I got dragged to fuck over there because of it, and that was fine. I didn't mind that. But then I found you afterwards quite dismissive, and it's not. Look, I don't expect to thank you. It was the right thing to do at the time. I certainly do not expect, oh, thanks for that. But I think that you was quite dismissive after. There was a time when I was getting literally dragged, and then Dorothy had BAM up there. And as you know, at the time I went up there to confront her, actually. You
Mhm.
know, I went up and but the way you said it, the way you told everyone, it was like, oh, Bam told me to take the video down supporting you, so I took it down. That's not the way it went down. But
Okay.
that's the way you said it. And then I came on because I was going through a lot of, you know, they were literally dragging me to fuck and doing videos and doing God knows what. And I was obviously in BAMS at the time. Sometimes, obviously, nobody engaged, but a lot of people watched. And honestly, yeah, I watched at that time. You know, nowadays, maybe people say, like Joe says, don't watch. If you're getting dragged, don't watch it. But in them times, maybe we weren't quite, you know, we sort of watched everything.
Yeah,
And
I think, and I think this is where like communication would have been good, because I think from an outside perspective looking in, and you have to remember during that time, and Mary remembers, that was whenever it was Dorothy versus Kelly and everybody else. So it was a lot of that going on. And then it did appear, at least to me, it appeared like Bam was like, take that down. And I mean, oh my God, she was
yeah,
yelling at you. So, she was
yeah,
horrible. But
I did
yeah.
stand my ground. And I'll tell you the honest reason I took it down, and this is 100% honest. I don't know if you listen to the rest of that conversation. This is what people don't know. Bam and I have a mutual tragedy, and she
Mhm.
brought up that tragedy, and she talked about, you know, I can't go into too much because her friends are going to get upset, so it's hard to navigate what you can speak about. But I'm just being honestly truthful. So it wasn't. I didn't take that video down because she shouted at me, because I can stand my ground with anybody. I took that video down because she mentioned a mutual tragedy that I've had in my life, she's had in her life, and she cried and got upset about it. Okay. So
Mhm.
I was like, I cannot, with good faith, keep that up, because it'd been there a long time. It's not that I'd stopped supporting the fact that that shouldn't have happened, because it never should have happened. It was probably one of the worst things I've ever seen on YouTube. And I've always will say that.
All right.
But the reason I took it down was because of what she said about the tragedy that happened to her and the tragedy that happened to me. And she was crying, not
Okay.
because she was shouting at me. So if someone came up and shouted at me, I'm not going to be dictated to in that way. It was because of a more of a different thing. But
Okay.
then at the same time, you got really angry because I'd taken it down, and then I came to your channel, and at that time, Bam was taking down my name and she wanted to find out all the information about me and stuff like that. And I'm very protective of my own family. And
Yeah.
I went over to you, to your channel, and I said, and you were angry that I'd taken the video down and I went over to you and I said, I have children of my own as well. I have them to protect as well. And you didn't even warrant a reply. And that upset me. And I'm going to be particularly honest.
I don't even
You
remember
know,
that.
yeah.
Like, honest to God, I don't know if I never reply to it,
No,
because
I didn't reply. And
I'm
because
wondering if I even saw it, to be honest. I
maybe
don't even remember.
and I was saying to you, I was trying to explain to you, I have children as well, right?
Mhm.
They were taking down my name, they were trying to dig into me. And so, yes, there's a couple of reasons. There was a reason because when we had that thing on Dorothy's, yes, she did shout. I don't care, Amber, honestly. If some randomer shouts at me at YouTube, I don't give a fuck. That wasn't the reason I took it down. It was more deeper than that.
Okay. Well, I honest to God, I didn't know that. I don't remember you coming over to my channel and saying that. I mean, honestly, you might have been blocked at that point. I don't know. I mean, honest to God, I do not remember that. I mean, a lot of God, a lot of this stuff is even like kind of fuzzy, just thinking back to everything. But, yeah. And I think too, like, fast forward to like all the Natasha stuff and whatnot. Like, I thought, like, I knew we weren't like best friends, but I thought we were at least like cordial.
Yeah, yeah.
So I guess whenever it just felt like all of a sudden, wow, okay, she really doesn't like me.
Well, it
And
seemed to sort of build up a little bit because we were going back and forth. This is what I'm trying to say to everyone. There was back and forth. You give as good as you got at times. When you was like really good friends with Jamie, you was like, co-hosting. You did a segment on me. I can't remember. I didn't watch it live. I watched it back later on in bits. I didn't even watch it all. But I was like, so it's not fair to say that I've just been terrible to Amber for no reason when you have done things yourself.
No, and I totally did. But can I ask this too? And maybe it's because there were things going back, like you said, but it didn't seem like you were really. It seemed like you were kind of fine with Jamie, but very angry at me. Like it kind of seemed like you were like, well,
I think the Jamie and I is a totally separate situation to you and I. So it's totally,
Okay.
in my head, it's totally separate. It's not even really connected.
Okay.
I think that as part of the reason I didn't like Jamie wasn't to do with you actually. Part of it was I was sticking up for Laurie at the time, what he'd said to Laurie at that time, that terrible thing that he said to Laurie. But then
Right.
since then, Laurie and Jamie made up, and she was laughing and joking with him after. So I was like, well, what the fuck am I sticking up for someone
I see
for?
what you mean.
Because
Yeah.
they've made up. So
Yeah.
why am I,
And there is something I want to clear up, especially while Mary's up here. I want you to know that back when all that stuff, with the Watts case and Kelly the advocate and just all of that went on, this is the honest to God truth. I never, Cher and Kelly making up, that was them. Like that was 100% between them. Like I think I was even surprised the day that they went live. I mean, of
okay,
course,
well,
at the time, I was
we can
friends with them
discuss
both.
we can
but-
discuss this then, because at the time, Kelly the Advocate did a live and said that you particularly have facilitated you going over there and getting back together, which really isn't any of my business. And actually, I have moved forward from that. At the time, I think I've tried to say before, there was definite sides. This is going back a good
It's always the
three
case.
years,
Yeah.
3 years. And for me, at that time, my focus was still supporting that family. So when Kelly and Mary, which is their decision, went over to Shez, it was a big shock to me. It was a big shock to me after everything she'd done. And I was still in that frame of mind. Now I don't care. People can, do you know what I mean? It was a slightly different time for me then 3 years ago,
Yeah.
to what it is now. And I don't have sides now. I don't care what people go, honestly, Amber. I honestly do not care. I mean,
I feel you.
I
Yeah.
really don't. But at that time, I did actually. I was like, oh my God, how can you do that when she's done this, that, and the other? I mean, I wouldn't do that now, but at the time, I was definitely like that.
Yeah. Oh, that's well, look, I'm fine to put everything in the past. I really am. I'm not, I'm not a hard person to to just put things to bed with. I'm
Yeah.
really not.
And the other thing that really upset me that you did, Amber, and this is, it's better to get it out because people don't know, do they? Is when the things happened with Big D. So previous to that, something happened with Pesky, and he was accused of something, and I said he was innocent of that. And then all this blew up, which I didn't know about. This blew up, and you said to people I don't remember if it was in your live or community post, you said Sagacious says he's innocent, and there was people in your chat going, oh my God, did Sagacious say he's innocent? Sagacious say he's innocent. And you put it in that scenario when it was a completely different scenario, and you made out that I was saying in the murder situation he was innocent. And I never, never, never would say that. When I said he was innocent of that, that was going back to Pesky when he was accused of doing an all of something. It was two completely separate things, but you told your audience at that time when it blew up that I said he was innocent, and that really pissed me off.
Okay. What part of the problem with losing channels is you can't even go back and reference anything. So I don't even remember all that. I think again at the time I felt like I was being I was being judged so harshly for being sitting next to Jamie. So then when that came out, it was like, oh, okay. But you guys are fine with this. I don't remember ever saying that. I don't know if somebody in my chat said it, so I just ran with it, and if I did, I apologize. So yeah,
Because I've had a lot of that since then. I've had a lot of people going, oh, you're fine with this. Oh shit. Hold on, my.
Oh.
Well, I do remember at the
Sorry,
time.
my
he-
computer's going off, but I can still hear you. I can't see anything. My computer's doing funny things.
I do remember at the time
Human
you were actually, from what I remember, you were actually pretty shocked with all that when it came out.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think we all were.
Yeah.
Just a bit. Just a wee bit.
And you have to remember at the time, like, you know, and I'm not, this isn't you, because I do remember, I will give you this. You used to actually, like, kind of just reel him in from making, like, the, you know, the pedo accusations and stuff like that.
Yeah.
But he was so, oh God, and he was calling me the worst things ever, like, you know, a prostitute, meth head,
I'm
and
sorry.
all that.
I'm so sorry, Amber, to break you up a second. I'm just going to let everyone know my technical issue. I've lost StreamYard on my computer. I can't see any of you guys on my computer, but I can see you on my phone and I can hear you.
Okay.
So I'm just to let people know.
I hate technical
Oh
issues.
my goodness.
But but you know, he was being so just opinionated and making the worst accusations. And so then when that came out about him, it was like, really? You can't talk. I think he wouldn't have gotten as much, as he did if he hadn't have been so judgmental and making the just horrible accusations.
Yeah, I mean, for
people.
me personally, it came out, I blocked him, end of for me, that's it. And I had loads of people, oh, you're all right with this, you're all right. And I'm like, no, I'm not. He was blocked immediately. He's Google blocked. I can't see him. I don't go to his channel. He can't. He was blocked from my channel. When he's in someone else's chat, I don't see him. I don't see what he says. He can't see what I say. He's blocked. End of.
Yeah. Well, that's the best way to be, with people you don't like. I've kind of grown to like that block button more than I used to.
Yeah.
So
I came up because I was tired of being naked. So
well, it's good to see your face.
I can't figure out how to fix this stupid avatar. And it's not like that. It's only like that when I go on somebody's panel. I don't know. I'm technically challenged. My son would be the first one to tell.
Well, look, I'm always, I like it. I like it when I see two people that, had a good friendship make up again. So
yeah,
I'm glad you guys could.
And honestly, that's why I went with Kelly over to Cher's channel initially, because they were really good friends before the whole Watts situation happened. Mm-hmm. And I guess Cher had mentioned something to Amber, and Amber didn't facilitate anything as far as them two getting back together as friends. But
I'm going to apologize again. I think because I can only see you on my YouTube, there might be a slight delay. I'm not trying to interrupt, but I think there is a delay. So I'm so sorry about that as well.
It sounds good on this end. I don't know if
you sound fine.
Yeah, Mary's speaking, but her voice is coming out about 5 seconds later.
Oh. So basically what I was saying was I went with Kelly because I was loyal to Kelly, and I knew there was going to be ramifications. I knew that the family was going to get upset, and I had some people know this and some people don't, but I had a situation previous to that where I was at a mass for my husband that only occurred twice a year, and the mom knew where I was, and she was messaging me things about Amber, and I just got so frustrated. I was like, you know where I am right now, and it's more important for me to hate Amber than it is to just let me be right now. So that upset me.
Yeah. It's funny because things can upset. This is why I've tried to be really open and honest with Amber right now, because things can upset you and the other person doesn't even know or don't remember or
right.
Yeah, like I mean, because look, 100% from where I was viewing everything, it literally looked as if Bam had just came up, yelled at you, told you what to do, and you were like, fine, okay, and then all of you guys were cool.
Yeah,
and,
no, see, the thing is, that's infuriating because I was never cool with Bam. I I did go up and speak to, because I'm the sort of person that if I've got something to say, I'll speak to anyone. I had people in there going, "Don't let Sagacious up, Bam's going to rip her to shreds." I'm like, I don't give a fuck. If I've got something to say, I'll talk to anyone. So I wasn't intimidated. I wasn't anything like that. It was, I guess it was partly I was sick of being dragged, and when she mentioned what happened to her and it happened to me, that resonated with me. She got upset about it. That did resonate with me, and I was just like, do you know what? I'm just going to take it down and move on. It doesn't mean to say that it were right. Of course, it wasn't right. It was one of the worst things that's ever happened. It doesn't mean that I took support away. It just meant that I just had enough of the dragging and the carrying on and all that. But it doesn't mean to say that all of a sudden that, you know, it was still very, very wrong.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, God, and she was horrible. She was, oh God, she yelled at you. I remember that. I mean, she was like, yeah. But I remember Dorothy even was like, bam.
But the thing is, honestly, that doesn't bother me. I know it sounds ridiculous, but that the shouting and the having a go, it doesn't matter to me. You know, people shouting. I try and listen to what they're actually saying. Like, and I'm gonna stick up for Bam a little bit here, which people won't like. I tried to disregard what she was screaming about and try and listen to the point she was trying to make, because even if people are shouting and screaming, they normally have a point, and I tried to listen to what the point she was trying to say and disregard what she was screaming about. You know, all the "oh, fuck you, Sagacious," that goes off in my head. I'm like, oh, shut up. Tell me what you really want to say.
I don't. Yeah,
I've been used to that after enough.
It's actually hard to believe that the woman's dead.
Yes,
know.
it's
Bam.
sad, and look,
Yeah.
she was
Yeah.
very loved by a lot of people, and I respect that as well.
I mean, look, I feel for her kids. I mean, I do
Yeah.
hope, you know, they're okay. It's a sad situation just in general, you know. But yeah.
Moving on.
Yeah, moving on.
Moving on.
I just don't talk about her much.
Yeah,
you
that's
know?
the best way, actually.
Yeah, it's the best
But
way.
I will say this. I think a lot of people showed more respect than she would have ever given
Oh
if
God,
any
yeah.
of us had passed. That
Yeah.
I will say.
True. That's
Mhm.
true.
Yep, I would agree with that. But
So Amber, I've been really open and honest with certain things that pissed me off. I would like you to be really open and honest with what pissed you off.
well, I mean, look, honestly, it you know, all of that stuff that happened with all the Watts and all of that on it, I don't really even think about any of that much anymore. Like I said, I think with me it was odd to me how, I mean, I thought, like, because I, you know, even like when I was with Jamie, sometimes I would pop over in Juror's chat, or you know, I would see you in a chat, and it was never like a big, you know, it never seemed like there was this like deep anger or hatred. So it just kind of caught me off guard that you had that much anger built up towards me. And I think honestly, just there'd be times I would look over at your channel and it'd be like, oh my God, like she's made so many posts about me. What the hell? So yeah, I mean, really, that's it. You know, just the name calling. You know, just the tramp and all that stuff. And
That was very recent.
Yeah.
This was like
That was the one that
5
put me over
years.
the edge.
By the way,
Yeah.
previous to that, you have called me a cunt, a bitch, la la la,
Yeah.
and that just
I
goes
mean-
over everyone's head.
yeah, I mean, yeah, I mean, we've both called each other things. You know, I think, let's see. I mean, I had one live where I really just kind of let it out on you.
You did have a good
Mhm.
old live.
Yeah.
It was called Saggy's Tight Pants or something.
Yeah, I think that was the title.
I think that was the title. This is what I'm trying to get across to people. I'm not trying to demonize Amber at all. I'm trying to say there was back and forth. That's all I'm saying. I did get some back, you know.
Yeah, I think again, I think for me, I think it kind of, after that, there wasn't, I mean, don't take this the wrong way, but you know, you weren't ever lingering on my mind, or, you know, I didn't have these like built up resentments or anything like that. So it just kind of, you know, again, it would catch me off guard to see all the posts and stuff. Like, damn, man, like
That would only be after you've said
know.
something though. Like literally, it was back and forth. Like
Not
if you're
always. Like there was times when you would just chime in. I'd be doing a live just on a particular thing or whatever, and you'd have something to say about it, or, you know, I mean, look, there was a lot of posts. I'm not even gonna lie, there was.
you did a whole live about me for hours.
Well, yeah, but that was like over a year ago. I mean, I'm saying, like, it's just, how do I say this? Like, you know, again, like you were fine with Jamie, and the hate kind of continued on me.
But
and
you and I
felt like,
you and Jamie, nothing. Like,
okay, well, I mean, you've explained that, but I'm just trying to just explain it from where, you know, just from my kind of, you know, how I viewed things.
Perspective, and everyone has different perspectives, as you know, of course we do.
Yeah.
Perspective is reality. It's your own reality.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, really, I mean, I would hardly, you know, I really wouldn't look at your channel very often. And then I'd be like, damn, man, she's making posts about this, that, the other. And, you know, that's it. I mean, look, it's so, like, honestly, there's nothing even really like specific that I can say, I hated you for that. You know, there really isn't. Really, I was just kind of like, damn, I wish she would kind of get past this. And that's it. That's how I always felt about it, you know.
She even said to me at some point, I don't know what her problem is with me. Remember?
Well, that's why I've openly said it this evening. That's why I've tried to say, look, this pissed me off, that pissed me off.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah. And I think
JD is just saying this is all hypocrisy. What is JD?
What's hypocrisy?
I don't know. That's what I'm asking JD.
Yeah.
What I will say is that I know that me and Mary haven't changed our opinions on certain individuals.
Yep.
And we still sit where we sit, and we're quite happy with that. But we also are adults, and really, you know, we're all grown up people, and it's none of my business where anybody goes on this platform.
Right.
I don't have to join them, and Mary doesn't have to join them. And that's all I'm going to say about that.
And with Mary and I, we fell out because of the share thing. As I say, I would have handled. I've said that a few times. I would have handled that differently. 100%. If that happened 3 years later today, I would have handled it very differently.
Right.
Very, very differently.
So I guess here's how I can sum it up. I never like disliked you so deeply that it was ever just, you know, lingering in my mind. So it's not hard for me to say, look, let's just put it all behind us. I mean, truly, Mary can tell you, Jura can even tell you. I would say to them, I'd be like, I don't know why she hates me so much.
I've only done this with good intentions. I've not come up here to cause a ruckus. I've come up here for the intentions of what we was going to speak about, to talk it out and see if some semblance of less animosity can come out of it. I've done it for the right reasons, Amber.
Yeah, no, I know. And look, I don't hold grudges exactly, you know, the same as everybody else. I think that throws people off quite a bit on here. Unless you mess with my kid, that's a whole different thing.
Yeah.
I think that's like the thing that if somebody messes with my kid, nope, not forgiven, never, you know. But most everything else I can let go of. It's kind of like that saying, like, forgive and not forget, you know?
Yeah. Or as Joe says, keep it on the long finger.
What did she say?
Keep it moving.
Yeah.
I'm going to pop down, kids, because it's late here where I am.
Oh,
but I'm glad I'll be listening in my ear And I'm glad you're having a chat.
And thanks for facilitating it, because it wouldn't have happened without you, actually.
That's true.
Yeah.
Like I
There
said,
we go.
best love I've seen in a very long time.
Do you
Oh, good.
since you
Good
know,
night, everybody.
good night,
Right,
Jura.
Jura.
Since I've got you and Mary both up here, do you guys remember like the private lives and the and all the
Yeah, on
like
Moreg's
lives?
channel.
Yeah.
On Maureen's, I was only invited to the first one. I
Oh.
was on the first one, but I wasn't in the other ones. But I was in the very, very first one. I do apologize for the delay, everyone. Honestly, you're not on my computer. You're only on my YouTube app, and there is a bit of delay. So I apologize. I can't, if I'm interrupting or something, I can't, because there is definitely a delay. Because I can see Mary talking, and I'm like, I hear it after. So sorry.
I think the delay is only on your side. I can hear both of you fine.
Right.
Yeah, I can hear you. I can hear you too. So it's probably just on your end.
Okay.
Yeah, but no, listen. I'm fine to just move on and put everything in the past. I really am.
Yeah, I mean, it's been a long time, hasn't it? I mean, come on. I mean, we've been around, what, 5 or 6 years? And like I say, I've come up tonight with an open heart. I didn't come up for any other reason but to try and sort something out, you know.
Yeah, and and look, we're both good friends with Jur, and it sucks like when you have two friends that you like, but they fight. But you know what? Okay, that reminds me. I do want to bring something up.
Yeah.
I think it bothered me that day that you okay, she came over on my panel, right?
Mm-hmm.
And you fired up a live stream and kind of just you were angry at her, and I think that's when y'all fell out.
Yes. The most, I was very, very quiet on that live. The most I think I said was I was disappointed. I did say I was disappointed.
Yeah.
And the fact of that matter is, I felt like I feel awful talking about Joe now. I hope you're still in chat, Joe, because she's not on with us, so I feel a bit bad. But I'm just going to be completely honest. I felt like, and she won't mind me saying this because I think I've told her, I felt like she was saying something to me privately and doing something slightly differently publicly. And I'm not saying out of turn because I've told her directly.
Okay. Yeah, I guess for me, it kind of brought back, honestly, it brought back kind of memories, like, because I remember how hurt Mary and Kelly were that day that you didn't message them, but you went live instead.
Yeah.
And so it felt like, damn, like you're doing this to, and I truly, I felt
that.
bad for her.
I get it.
I like just her because I knew she cared about you a lot. So I felt really, and that's what made me feel bad. I was like, well, damn, I feel bad because, I don't want to be the cause of them falling out. That's not what I'm trying to do. So yeah, I just felt bad. I felt like you should have maybe messaged her.
I should have done. Again, that's my bad. I should have done. I think at the time I was just like, I just felt like,
You felt bamboozled.
I felt like I wasn't getting the full picture. I felt like, because we'd been so open, like we spoke every day for a good couple of years, and I felt slightly being told one thing, but maybe she was doing something slightly different. Not that she was lying to me or anything. I just felt like publicly it was coming across differently to slightly to what we was talking about privately.
Okay, I gotcha. Well, and that was back then. That was when her and I were really good friends, but we weren't like on the same side, so to speak. And I'll just say this, and look, YouTube, it's really hard to navigate people and friendships on here. I swear to God.
Yeah. Oh, it is.
And you really, like, and I feel like during Jurors Live, like, this is probably something that I, should have been said, but like, you can't all like the same. You're never going to like all the same people at the end of the day.
That's a given. You just can't. I mean, there's so many people in here with such strong views. Like JD, she has such strong conviction, and I respect that. I totally respect it. And of course, that's going to happen. And people have their own perspectives, their own views, and their own loyalties. Sometimes people in here really care about a creator. Like Amber, you've got people that really care about you, so obviously they see you falling out with me, and they're going to back you up. And I understand that. I totally get that.
Yeah. Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, and sometimes you just can't help yourself. I mean, after the whole Kelly debacle and Kelly and I stopped talking, I swore that I would never white knight for anyone ever again. I'm never going to do that again. But I found myself doing it again.
Well, here's
I
the thing.
forget it.
You can, and you can defend people. You
Yeah.
absolutely can. I think the trick is, like, just always remember that things change on here overnight all the time.
Oh yeah.
And like, okay, and there's maybe, like, Mary, I consider you like a real friend on here. You're somebody that I would call and just want advice from, or something like that. But
Yeah.
I don't know. Like I said, it's just hard on here. You
It
can't
is
you
hard.
can't
It is.
please everybody at
No,
all.
and you're
You
never going
never
to
are.
you're never going to please anybody, even off of YouTube. My family and friends, and you're always
Right.
going to have somebody that has something to say. It just
Right.
you have to just live
Exactly.
your own truth, and that's it.
Right. So who would I be to say to Juror, like, how dare you make up with Sagacious?
Yeah.
Like,
Mhm.
that's not fair of me to do at
No.
all. Like, in the least. Like, their friendship is none of my business. You know what I'm
Right.
saying? So
And who 3 weeks ago would have ever believed if someone said, "Hey, Sagacious Mary and Amber are on a panel together"?
oh, I know. I think Mary, and you really spoke up with with Sagacious when she
Yeah.
would say things about me and whatnot. And I think, like, and I don't know if Kelly, here, I'll tell you exactly how it went down with Kelly and Cher and I. Honest to God, the only thing that I told Kelly, and I told Cher, I told them both at the very beginning of me and Kelly talking. I had said, "Look, I'm friends with you," and this is probably how people should always do it on here. But I said, "Look, I'm friends with you both. I know you don't like each other, but if y'all can just respect that I like you both, that's all I ask." And that's it.
Right.
That was all that was said between us. Now, they ended up reaching out and talking on their own. Look,
Yeah.
did I probably have like a tad bit of influence? Maybe so,
Yeah.
because that made Kelly think about Cher whenever I brought her up, right?
Yeah.
But I never was like, no, you two need to talk, you need to make up. And I certainly never expected them to go live or anything like that. That was such a God, that was such a weird time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And,
Oh
and
yeah.
not only that, but what a lot of people don't know is there was a lot of stuff going on behind the scenes between Kelly and the family too. So
Mhm.
that facilitated that move to share a little bit too. I don't think that would have happened had that other stuff not been going on behind the scenes.
Yeah.
Right.
And Mary, you might not know, I don't know, but I'm not good with dates, but it's probably maybe it could have been about a year ago. Queen Bee had a live, and me and Kelly had a really good chat on that live, and we chatted a lot of this out, and that's how you saying, oh, Sagacious is saying hello to Kelly when she come back. We'd had a big conversation on Queen Bee's live previous, and we chatted a lot of this out, and she told me what upset her, and I said what upset me, and we'd had that conversation on a public live actually, and we haven't spoke privately, Kelly and I, but I was still really pleased that it had thawed enough that we can chat now.
Yeah.
And I wanted that to happen. And as I say, we had a big conversation over on Queen Bees, and a lot of people might not have seen it, so they might not know, but we did have a big conversation on there. We even we laughed, we cried, we did everything. We had a really big conversation over there. It was about a year ago, I think.
I
Yeah,
remember.
well-
I kind of vaguely remember Queen Bee doing panels like that, and this was before Queen Bee became, as big as she is now.
Mhm. Yeah.
Yeah.
I remember that.
I didn't see it, so I've never been to a channel. But Amber knows. I mean, I don't hate Kelly by any means, and I wish her well. But I just can't go back there.
So sad.
Not that she even wants to go back there, but things too much has happened.
Yeah,
That's sad.
that is sad, because I mean, you guys were you know,
Really close.
Yeah,
really,
we were.
really
I
good
mean,
friends.
we were.
Kelly,
We
yeah,
were sisters.
Kelly, Mary, and I were close,
Yeah.
but Mary and Kelly were closer, if I can say it like that.
Oh yeah, they were extremely close. You know, we did have some fun over there for a while. Like,
Yeah.
you know, I remember when I first started coming over there, it was fun. Like, I mean, that was whenever Whiskey and Morag and all of them were coming over there, and
Yeah.
that was
And I have
crazy
to
back
say,
then.
I do miss them. I miss Maureen, and I miss Morag.
Yeah, I actually got on with Mo really, really well, actually. We've had our to-dos, obviously, but actually, when we were friends, we got on really, really well.
Yeah, same.
Yeah,
Same
I mean,
here.
I got along with them both as
That whole group, and we had Amber remembers we had the Slack chat on the side. That's where everything blew up.
It's where it always blows up. I'm telling you, man. I will never like.
No more.
I'm very. Let's put it this way. I'm gonna be very picky about whatever group chats I join,
yeah.
if any anymore, because they really do just go tits up all the time.
They
And
did.
that Slack one was huge. And
It was.
you know what though? But you know how it started was. It's just, and it always comes down to this. People, they have different opinions on what needs to be done or what they want to do. And it just causes a big blowout. I swear to God, YouTube is just, it's the craziest place if you think about it. It ain't nothing like real life.
It isn't like real life. And I've got,
Mm-mm.
you know, family that I'm really, really close to my sisters and everything like that. And I couldn't even explain to them the YouTube part of my life. Like they wouldn't understand. My kids are 28 and 24. My youngest, she lives away, so she doesn't really get it. But my eldest, she gets a little bit because she's heard me come live and things like that. She gets it a little bit more. But yeah, you can't really. I remember once I was out about, oh God, again, probably about a year ago. And I was coming back in a taxi. I'd had a few drinks, and I remember someone had gone on YouTube, and I was like, "Oh la la la," and he just looked at me as if I'd lost my mind, and I thought, "I'll shut up now." People's not going to get it. It's not going to get it.
I remember my mom. She did come across like the very first channel I had. She came across and she was like, Amber, she's like, I don't get this. You're just a bunch of grown adults fighting. And she's like, and look at what they're doing. They're putting out your old records. Why do you stay there? I'm like, that's a good question.
It is a good question.
That's a really good question.
And that is something I have talked to Jora about privately is what keeps us here. And for me, I've said, look, I've stepped back quite a lot. I used to go live once or twice a week. I have stepped back quite a lot. I come live maybe once a month. But I said, Joe, for some reason, I can't come out of it completely. I just can't do it. There's I think because it's gone on last 5 years and I've got to know everybody, got to know all the people. And at this point, I'm not ready to leave completely because I've got to know I've got to know so many people, and I have, backed out a little bit. Like I say, I come live maybe once a month, so I've got a bit more balance. But I just can't. I don't know what it is. I can't leave completely. I just can't do it.
I know.
Yeah.
It's like a black hole, right? It just like sucks you in and you can't leave.
True. And you know, it's weird because we all came to YouTube for the same reason, pretty much, and that was to support the Rusaks. And little by little, who's falling out, who's going this way, who's going that way, and everything has changed. It's not like it used to be. It used to be one group, and everybody had the same mindset. And now, it's all over the place.
Well, then it became about Natasha Cooper and who didn't like Natasha Cooper. And now, I was thinking about this when I was listening to Jers. I'm like, look, if I think I've literally been dragged by everybody in the community. So, I mean, if I held it against everybody, I would have nowhere to go.
Hey, you wouldn't talk to nobody.
And that is a really good point, is that so many people have fallen out, have had something to say. If you harbored a grudge on every little thing, like say you wouldn't speak to no one, would you? You'd just be like,
Right.
So you have to let little things go. I mean, if it's massive, obviously you can't let that go, but little things you can let go.
Yeah, somebody said it to me, and they put it in the best way. They said, it's almost impossible to be in a drama community and hold strong grudges against everybody. You can't. Like
Yeah.
you know, I don't know. I guess I'm trying to just not take this shit so serious.
I've noticed that because I tend to,
Mhm.
because I know people say I'm super busy, but I'm super busy, and also I'm trying to disengage a little bit, not completely, but a little bit. So I don't watch everyone's live like I used to. Oh my God, back in the day, I'd be right. I've
Mhm.
got to watch that live, and then I'd flick over to someone else's. I'd flick over, but I'm not like that now, thank God. But I do. I've said this to Joe often. I don't watch everyone's lives completely, but I do dip in, and if I miss it, I try and go back on replay and watch bits of it. I can't watch the whole lot because some of them are 4 or 5 hours long, but I can watch little bits and I try and catch up with I call it the topic of the day or what people are chatting about. So I
Yeah.
try and keep up with the topics, the current topics, big topics, and sort of keep on track of what's going on. But I don't watch everything. Like well, you just can't, can you?
Yeah, no, there's no way. And like honestly, this was kind of a conversation that happened on one of my last live streams, but it's I don't know about like you guys in the chat and y'all on panel, but it's almost getting to the point where it's getting boring because
Yeah.
it's the same. Like at this point, we've heard all the dirt being slung that we can hear. It's the same shit. Everybody has
Yeah.
at one point sat with everybody. Let's be honest, right? Like
Oh yeah.
so it's just a continuous merry-go-round. It's polarized. I've gotten to the point where honestly, I kind of enjoy it. Like, and I mean, I actually told this to Jamie when he was on my panel. I listened into one of his Stephanie Harlow lives that he did.
Yeah.
I'm finding that shit a lot more enjoyable than I am.
Anything other than this arguing back and forth, like
Yeah.
Right. It just gets old, you know. It really
It does.
does.
I totally agree with you. It does get old, and
I watch like
I
5
find-
minutes and then I go, all right, I'm turning Jonathan Rumi on.
yeah, I totally agree with you. It does. It goes round and round and round and round and round. And I have tried to be quite strong actually, and just go in anywhere that I want to, and just see the reception. And if the reception's half okay, you know, well, if the creator says I'm okay, then I'm usually okay. That's fine.
Yeah. Yeah.
You know, it's funny that you say that because like I'm trying to do the same. Like I just on it, like I was talking to CJ about this. She's kind of in the same place I am where we just want to go chat where we want to go chat. Like that's, you know, that's it at the end of the day.
Yeah.
And I think a lot of times like you build it up in your head, like, oh God, like, you know, there's people in this chat that don't like me. What's it going to be like when I go? And then you go in and it's just completely fine. Like,
Yeah.
9 times out of 10, people are not thinking about you. You know,
No.
that's just human nature. You know what I mean? Like, I learned this like honestly in recovery, but it's the truth. Like people 9 times out of 10, they are thinking about themselves, not you, not the person next to you. Like when you're sitting around going, oh God, I sounded so stupid when I did that, or I did this, or nobody's thinking of it.
Yeah.
You know?
Smiley just said, oh, Jonathan, he's the man.
I know. I told Mary, I was like, oh, I think I'm like hot for Jesus. Cause she showed me a picture of this guy. I was like, what? Okay, yeah,
that's
he's hot.
I was telling Amber last night, my sister was the one that told me about The Chosen. She's like, you have to watch it, da da da. So I watched the first episode and I was like,
hooked.
Louise, is it bad that I have a crush on Jesus?
Oh man, replay Craftastic, you're exactly right. It is like it is just a vicious cycle on here. It's a never-ending merry-go-round or game, or I call it the continuous game of Red Rover.
Yeah,
because you know, like the Red Rover send this one right over, and you know, people switch sides. That's basically what it is on here.
It is. It really, really is. It is like that. But I think like a lot of people talk about fake drama as well. I think that because I used to think that these people are just making it up. Do you know what I mean? But actually, because I've been in a couple of arguments, things obviously, clearly, and actually some of it is quite real. Actually, you know.
Oh yeah.
You know that it's not. You know, we're not behind the scenes going, "Shall we fall out tomorrow?" It's actually quite real.
Hang on, guys.
Right. Like, what? Oh, she had a call. Yeah. Oh, totally. Like, that's what I was trying to tell to freaking Eli when he was on my panel. I'm like, dude, look, I promise you, like, I was, close with Jamie for a whole year. If things were scripted or made up or, all of that, don't you think I would have like exposed that the minute him and I fell out? Like, you know what I mean? It's crazy. And like, look, some of the insults that I've taken, I wouldn't dare script that with somebody else.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, I don't want to be called those things. So no, it's like totally not scripted. No, I think
No,
people
it's
really, really do get their, feelings that I know I have. I've gotten my feelings way wrapped up in this shit.
Oh, definitely. 100%.
Yeah. And there's times where, I haven't spoken up where I wish I would have, or times where I did speak up where I wish I didn't have. I didn't, but I just know I'm kind of just over it. I don't want to take it that serious anymore. I just want to come on, have a laugh, catch up with people. And as long as one is respectful, they can come in my chat, end of,
Hey guys.
Hello.
I'm gonna go. My son is here. This is my son.
Hi.
Everybody. Say hi, Mike.
Oh, that's your son?
Yeah.
Oh,
He came over to have his dog play with my dog. So they're running around like
oh my gosh,
right
I've heard
now.
so much about you.
Yeah, he
All
heard
good
a lot.
things.
They all heard a lot about you. That's Sagacious and that's Amber.
Oh, hello. Oh, hello.
Well, you
Hi.
can hear your voices at least.
That's awesome.
All right, guys. Love you both. I'm so glad you guys got to talk.
Oh, thank you.
Oh,
Mary.
thank you.
Take care.
All right, love you,
Take care,
Mary.
darling.
Bye.
Bye.
Bye, darling.
What?
Oh, it's so nice. My daughter came up. She lives away. She's got a job in a city quite near me. It's about 2 hours away, and she came up Thursday and stayed till. Oh, when did she go back? Did she go back? No, Monday. What day are we on? We're on Monday. Yeah, she went back this morning. Yeah, so she came Thursday, went back this morning. So it was lovely. I know what it's like when your family come up. It's lovely. It's so nice.
Oh, that's awesome.
Yeah. So who'd have thought, Amber, that me and you would be up here chatting?
I know, right? Like, I didn't expect it, but I guess when people started coming in Jura saying something, I just wanted to make it clear, like, look, I'm not mad. I'm really, it's fine. Like, I'm glad that you and Jura sorted things out. I really am. So, and I think you kind of view things like I kind of do on here lately. You just kind of want to go where you want to go.
Yeah, really, honestly, because I just do. Do you know what I mean? I know there's look, but then again, I do understand other people in chat that have really strong views as well.
I do too.
And they want to ask questions and they want to say, well, where does this come from? What you were fighting last week. How come you're chatting now? And I understand when people ask them hard questions too.
Yeah, I know. I get it, and sometimes I hate it. I hate it. Like, I was actually talking to Mary about this last night, but I hate it when people make assumptions or speculations just off of like what they might see in a comment section, or something that you said on panel that came out like this, so it must mean that. Just just ask the question. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Hold on a second.
And how is chat feeling? Well, chat have been really, really good actually, haven't they? That I think they're quite understanding. And I think Jura said she's had enough of, she just wants to go where she wants to go. You've had enough. You just want to go where you want to go, do your own thing. And I've had enough. I just want to go where I want to go, do my own thing. And I think it's got to that stage now, hasn't it?
I think with a lot of people it has, honestly. I really do. Now, I mean, don't get me wrong. There's been times where I am like, 100% like, I don't want anywhere near these people and I don't want near those people. And, but even like when I was kind of like that, I tried not to hold it against other people.
Oh yeah, definitely.
You know what I mean? So you can't. You really can't. But it's kind of like what we were saying earlier, though. It very much used to be like, during the Watts days, we were all on here for one reason. And then during the Natasha thing, you were either with Natasha or you weren't,
Yeah, I think I look back, and when it first started, it felt like there was a sort of purpose, like a mutual purpose, whereas now it's just people talking shit, basically.
Oh my gosh, right? Like, a lot of those people from Watts Island, they're not even around anymore.
No,
Have
they're
you
not.
noticed that?
Yeah.
Like, I mean, so many are gone. Like, most of the truth channels aren't here anymore because
And yet, Amber, after all these years, it's finally gone to court, but no one's really speaking about it.
Okay, are they going to court for real?
I think there is court dates. There has been, yeah, I think there has been court dates.
Oh my gosh!
See,
that's kind of
interim ones. It's not been finalized. There's been interim ones. I don't think the big one's been done. But
wow.
Yeah, it's progressing.
I never thought I'd see the day. Honestly, I remember I used to tell people, if this ever goes to court, I will stand outside that courthouse and tap dance naked, because I just didn't see it going, to be honest. I was like, there's no way this is going to actually make it into a courtroom. But apparently, I mean, I've heard chatter that things are moving along. So, hey, I guess that they proved me wrong. But, and well,
yes, there's no answers, but the last court date was 17th of May. But yeah, there's not a conclusion. There's no conclusions yet or anything like that. But
okay. See, and AD is no longer even on YouTube. But I know a lot of people still stream him off of Rumble and still cover him and whatnot. Now, I haven't even watched him in forever. Is he still talking about the Watts case?
I've not watched him at all, honestly. Not for years, actually.
Wow. See, and I kind of view things a lot different than I did at one point. Like, especially because I got kind of sucked into this like whole Sebastian case, and I got kind of down this rabbit hole, and I saw where did you see the all the stuff about those two guys that faked the call in the Maddie Soto case?
Do you know, I've not followed that very much, actually, that case, or I've not followed them that closely, to be honest.
Well, it's a circus, right? But basically, like, almost Queen Bee and all of them have been covering it, but this guy who had his name is T-Rev, okay? And he had a friend fake a call and pretend that his name was Rick Armstrong, and he was a friend of the guy that got, put in jail for the Maddie Soto case. And it was a really like disturbing call because they were discussing SA and whatnot. And it came out that this was totally staged. Like, there's screenshots that prove it and whatnot. And it just kind of got me kind of going down this whole rabbit hole of, these people covering this case. And, and I just can't help but think, like, okay, there is something to be said about milking the same case night after night after night.
Yeah, well, I'm going to be honest. I watch true crime. I watch trials. I follow cases, but I don't because of what happened with AD, I don't follow creators talking about it. I just watch the facts. I maybe watch if the trial comes up, I watch the trial. I watch Court TV quite a lot and things like that, but I don't actually watch creators talking about it because it is just chatter at the end of the day. So
right, it is. And I kind of just look at the whole thing that AD did, and I mean, did he have like a lot of people after him? Yeah, he did. But my God, all of he must have milked that case for what, years? I mean, how much can you say about it?
Well, it comes down to money, doesn't it? He made a lot of money. He made a lot of money doing it.
Yeah, and that's, you see it in the Sebastian case. You saw it in the Summer Wells case. There's something to be said about, a lot of these creators, I mean,
I
let's
mean,
face
I tend to keep. I let people do what they want to do. Do you know? Because I've been through it all with AD and stuff, and I'm not going down that again of
no.
saying, oh, people can't talk about this and people can't talk about that. I'm just not doing that again because it went on for years, and I got too involved with it, and I just don't want to do that again. But what I will say to any true crime creators out there that are just talking, I'll say just remember critical care. She at the end of the day, her family got pissed off with it and they sued her ass. So just remember that at the back of your mind. That's all I'll say.
Oh my God, I forgot. Yeah, she did, didn't she? Is she on
Oh
any
yeah.
platform right now at all?
I think she has a small channel on YouTube somewhere. I don't know what it's called. I think she keeps under the radar a bit, but she does keep her hand in. But you've got you've got to look at that. Like you've got to be aware that you might be riding high and have hundreds and thousands in your chat, but one time if you say something wrong, a family might have had enough and will sue you. And you've got to have that back in mind because we've seen it happen.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's the truth. But I mean, yeah, when you think about it, okay, so AD, Critical K, Molly Golightly,
Mhm.
God, so many aren't around anymore that used to be. It's crazy how things have changed. And I feel like this community, the whole Krama community it's kind of dwindling too, in a
Oh
way.
yeah.
I mean, Dorothy's no longer here. Um, Natasha, I mean, I never thought I would miss them, but sometimes I do,
Yeah.
just because it was kind of entertaining.
Well, that's why Kelly did a live a few months back, and I was really excited to see her back. And I thought she was coming back. And she
Hmm.
did one live. I think Bones was up there, and it was nice to see her back. I am, whether I've fallen out with people or whatever. I have this thing where I'm quite fond of people that I've known a long time.
Yeah,
Do you know what I
no,
mean? When I've known someone for a long time, I still think, oh, how are they? Are they okay? Does it and all that?
no, I totally get that. I'm the same way. I mean, it's yeah, you just kind of they'll cross your mind, and you'll be like, "Man, I wonder how they're doing." I mean,
Mm.
I think about Kelly from time to time and wonder what she's up to, how she's doing. I hope I will say, man, she said she was done, and that was it. She packed it up. You know, she
But
wasn't.
I would like to see Kelly back, and I would like to see Kelly back, and we all chatted to Rabbit. I don't even know what Rabbit Dog's doing anymore. I don't know what he's up to. I haven't
Oh
seen him around
yeah.
for ages. Loads of people that I still have a fondness for because we talked such a lot for such a long time.
Yeah. Oh man, yeah. I liked Rabbit Dog. I liked
Mm.
him a lot. I know he kind of got close with Bam there at the end, but I still always liked him. I thought he was good. And what's the guy, the Spanish guy?
Oh,
Louis.
Lewis.
Louis.
See, I like Lewis. I know people hate the fact I like Lewis, but I really, really do. I mean, he was so kind to me when I needed a bit of kindness on here, and I just felt like completely like put upon. And, he spoke to me like a proper human being and he was so kind to me. And I've always said I'll never forget a kindness to me personally. And yes, that might be selfish. But he treated me with respect. I treat him with respect. And, you know, if he ever came around again on the English side, because he does all the Spanish side. If he ever
Hmm.
came around on the English side, I would definitely go up and chat with him. I've always got on with Lewis very, very well. And I know that's not a popular thing to say, but
No, I mean it's some people liked him, some people didn't. I thought he could be kind of funny at times.
yeah.
But yeah, no, I mean I'm kind of the same. I try not to forget it when somebody's been there for me or
Yeah.
defended me and whatnot, unless they've just gone like the total opposite. That's I try to
Yeah.
keep it in my mind. You know what I'm saying? So let's see. What is cerebellum? I am not fond of any of those people. Which ones are you not fond of? Cerebellum, Lewis, and Rabid.
Well, Smiley likes Rabbit, but not Lewis.
Oh, I remember Meg would go into I think she would go into Lewis's chat quite a bit.
Yeah, again, he would block her and then she'd come back. And Lewis actually said, like, because at first he didn't know who Meg was. He didn't know who Meg was. He just thought she was maybe coming in to cause trouble. And actually, he got to know her more. I'm like, oh, it's Meg. I'm fond of her now. He got to know her, and he got to understand Meg.
Yeah, I'm kind of reading your comments, Meg. Listen, I'm really, truly sorry about your dogs. I know you were very fond of them. And listen, you had gotten blocked that night because I had asked you to just please stop. Like, just stop, going back and forth with people in the chat. And I did ask nicely. You have to admit that. So it gets kind of hard. Like, I don't know about you, but I hate it when people fight in the chat. Absolutely.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't like it. I don't like it. I think that a lot of people are getting better at that. I think that, in fact, in jurors and in mine, I think a lot of people have been very, very respectful. And actually, they could have been a lot shittier, if I'm honest.
Oh,
And
right.
when I said hello in jurors, I fully expected a little bit of backlash, and I was prepared for that. But actually, people were quite nice about it, to be honest.
Yeah, I thought they were. JD always has strong opinions, and I actually love her for it. She's never afraid to voice them. Let's put it that way.
Yeah, listen, for me, with JD, she can say what she likes about me, even if it's negative, because I know that it comes from how she feels. She's not just causing trouble, it's how she actually feels. And I think that if she feels like that, I respect it because she is very open with how she feels about it. And good on her, because she's one of the few people that will say what she wants to say,
Yeah, very much so. Like I said, I hate it when people speculate like, oh, there must be something shady going on here for you to just all of a sudden make up with this person, and I hate it when it's like there's really nothing at all shady whatsoever.
Well, Amber, I think we can both say 100%. You and I have not spoken privately at all, so it's not a setup or anything. It's just
No, absolutely not. There were some people that thought, like, with the way that Jamie came up on my panel the other day, oh, they must have been talking prior for him to feel like he could just pop up there. No, like, I mean, it's what gets so frustrating. It's like, no, like, him and I had not spoken a word to each other before that day.
Yeah. No, I believe that. I believe that 100%.
Yeah, and if anything, I thought it would kind of show people like, no, we really haven't. But people are going to think what they're going to think. It's whatever. Some people just insist.
I mean,
on
Joe and I did have one conversation a few days ago. I can't. As I said, I'm useless with dates. Honestly, when I say I'm busy, I am busy. I know people say that about him. So I don't know if it was a few days or a week ago. It could in that time frame. And it was actually me that initiated. I said, Joa, can we have a chat? And she went, what, on a live? I went, no, me and you on a call. Let's have a chat. We hadn't chatted. We've had the odd little message when it's been really, really important, like, the big D stuff. So we have had the odd message when it's been important, but we haven't chatted like before.
Yeah.
And I said, look, would you mind if we had a chat? And I was prepared again for her to go, no, fuck off. So, I was prepared for that as well. But actually, I was very lucky. And she said, yeah, let's have a chat. And so we did, and that was, again, I'm not 100% on the dates, but maybe a week ago, possibly a week ago, something like that. And so because of that chat, I did feel I was working again tonight. So I didn't see the first 2 hours of Joe's live. I have no idea what she spoke about in the first couple of hours. I don't know. I came in, I don't know what time she started it even. I think I switched on the tubes and tuned in about 11 o'clock my time. And I watched chat a little bit, and I knew she was up there on her own. I knew that it was just like a normal conversation. There wasn't like a massive topic, because I don't want to derail, if there's a topic, I wouldn't come in and derail it. It was just like a conversation. So I thought, it might be nice to test the waters and say hello and see how chat goes and see if it's okay. And,
Yeah. And well, it wasn't too bad. Yeah, I missed like the first part of her live as well. So
Yeah.
I'll have to
I'll
listen.
have to go. Joe, if you're listening, I'm going to go watch it on replay tomorrow or tonight or something.
Yeah, y'all used to panel together quite often, actually.
Yeah.
I remember. So, yeah.
But it was really kind of you, actually, because I know that there's a few people asking questions, and when you said, look guys, or look JD, look guys, I understand that Jorah and Sagacious were friends, for a long time, so it's fine, and that was really good of you, actually.
Thank you. Yeah, well, I didn't want it to be an uncomfortable situation for you guys, because I hate it when I'm in those situations. You know what I'm saying? And it's like, no, like, guys, it's fine. It's okay. I was happy for you guys.
Thanks.
So, because
And
I really did. I always felt bad after that day, because I felt like, damn, just because of my panel just kicked off with you guys, and I always felt bad for it. So, yeah, I'm glad.
I'm
happy
the
for y'all.
same with other people, even if I don't know them very well. If people have had a previous connection, a previous friendship, I'm always pleased when they make up, even if I don't know them very well, or I don't know, I am always pleased when two people can make up, especially when there's a previous friendship there.
Yeah, totally. Oh my, Ginger. Oh my God. Isn't he like just out of his mind with those? Oh my God. Like, that was the most frustrating conversation I think I've ever had with anybody. Eli.
I don't know what's going on. Obviously, like I said before, I do dip in and try and keep up with what's going on, but I haven't watched a lot of I haven't watched a lot of the Eli stuff. I know what's going on. But yeah, I mean, that's all you lots think. It's not, I don't
Yeah.
know.
Oh, well, let's just put it this way. I think he's probably the worst person I've ever come across as far as paranoia and delusions. Like, but it's on the level of, like, okay, like, let's say you disagree with him. Like, for me, I was trying to get through to him to tell him, like, look, you treated Patty shitty. Can you just say sorry for that? That's it. That's all you have to do. And because, like, I didn't agree with him because he thought he was in the right, he thought that this is scripted. Amber doesn't sound right. She was put up to this. She's being paid for this. Like, it's wild, I tell you. I mean,
Yeah.
I
don't know, from an objective view, because I'm not in it that bit. From an objective view, I can see where he comes from a little bit, that everyone does stream him and talk about him. But then I sort of think, well, I mean, for example, I wouldn't have known who he was unless Jamie talked about him, or other people talked about him. I wouldn't know who he was from Adam. So I guess it's sort of, I guess I can see his point of view if everyone's streaming him. He's like, look, just leave me alone. Do you know what I mean? But
yeah.
he's got to capitalize on it, really, because a lot of people wouldn't know who he was without the other people talking about him. So I don't know. That's the objective view.
Yeah, no, well, and here's the thing. I had, like, a lot of compassion as far as that went, because I felt like, he does get restreamed quite a bit. But, like,
sorry, Amber, I can't. Mary's saying, can I drop that? I haven't got my StreamYard. I can't drop that. I wish I fucking pinned it now. I can't drop the link. I'm only on my YouTube. Do you have it from when you? I don't know. I'm literally on my computer. Oh my God, on my computer, I can't see anything. I am talking to you guys through my YouTube app.
That's
on
weird.
My computer. I'm talking. Oh, it's weird. So I'm talking. You're hearing me through my computer, but I can't see anything. I can't mute. That's why you'll hear me vaping. Because normally when I do a live, if I take a bit of vape, I mute. I can't mute. I can't do anything on StreamYard. I can see you and me on my YouTube app. I can't do anything on my StreamYard.
Oh man, I hope you can get that fixed.
On my stream, it says, do you want to allow this app to make changes to your device? Press yes or no. And my arrow won't do anything. And I'm scared if I reboot my laptop, it will switch off my StreamYard. So I'm stuck, can't do anything.
Right. Oh, damn. But, yeah, as far as the Eli situation goes, I set it up for him so he could have really, like, let's put it this way, he could have gained more respect, at least, when he came on my panel. Like I set it up like he wanted it. Like, I didn't allow anybody up until the very end because I was just freaking frustrated as hell. But I pretty much set it up to where it's like, okay, like it got to the point where we were like, well, look, can you just say sorry for maybe the way you handled this situation? And if he would have done that, he would have at least gained some respect, but he wouldn't budge. I mean, I don't think I've ever come across anybody that was so like hard-headed.
Yeah. You've had
But,
I have to say, and I'm not just saying, honestly, I'm just doing an objective view. I do think at one point though, because as I say, I've not said, you can shut me up if you like. I think he did say though, if other people come up apart from you and CJ, I'll be dropping. So I think
Yeah.
he preempted that anyway. So when
He
other people
did.
did come up, he was like off, but I think he'd already said that he would.
He
think.
did. Basically, I respected that for 2 hours, right? And when I wanted some other people to come up, I did ask him. I said, "Can I please just bring this person up? Because maybe if you're communicated in a different voice, maybe if they say things in a different way, because maybe I'm not coming across right, or he wouldn't budge. And it got to the point where I was done. I was just done. So I knew he was going to run, but at that point, I just couldn't take any more. It was like, I can't do this. It was frustrating.
Yeah, I don't know what's gonna. As I said, that's I'm nothing. I don't even know Eli at all. I've never been on his channel because I was gonna say hello one time. Like I say, I'll go anywhere. But when I saw that clip of him saying that about Gabby Petito, it put me right off. You see?
Yeah, and really, he has said quite a bit of things that are pretty bad. Let's put it this way. I just, it is kind of irresponsible that he's out here, being any kind of life coach. But then again, he's not really coaching anybody. I mean, he's just talking about the drama,
Yeah.
So, but yeah, it's just a pretty bad situation with him. I mean, I feel for him because I do feel the paranoia, the delusions have just grown over the years. But even when you like try to talk some sense into him and say, look, me and CJ are both telling you there's no scripts, there's no this, there's no that. He just refuses to believe any different,
Yeah.
So
I don't know. Obviously, it's a little bit like. So we've all got to know CJ and Jamie and all that in the last maybe couple of years. But previous to that, we was in a different community, like from Watts Island, and it's a bit like that. So we've sort of getting to know Eli characters and all that sort of thing, but we don't know them from years back, like Jamie does. They've have a much more of a backstory, don't they? Which we probably don't know all about that. So.
Yeah, they did come. They all came from like the same community, kind of, So
which none of us were, anyone. Well, I don't think you was there then. I certainly wasn't.
No, I definitely was not. I think it was MGTOW. Yeah. So no, I definitely was not.
I honestly, I don't even get all these acronyms. I don't understand them. The MGTOWs and the red pills. I have no idea. Honestly, I just don't know what people are talking about when they say all these
Let's see.
certain acronyms.
Okay, the MGTOW stands for Men Go Their Own Way. And I don't even think, well, I don't want to say the wrong thing. I forget what's not allowed on YouTube anymore. But basically, they're kind of, I mean, you could call it like anti-woman, And I think with Jamie, I think in his defense, he had different views than a lot of the people in MGTOW. So I guess that's where the whole purple pill thing originated from.
Honestly,
because
I don't have a clue.
Yeah,
I have no clue what these things mean.
Yeah, but he wasn't like fully sold into the full beliefs of the Men Go Their Own Way. like I think he was like, okay, well, I agree with this, but I think this. So I think that's how he got started, was going back and forth with a lot of them. And yeah, it's pretty. There's a bunch of little, different red pill, blue pill. I don't know.
Yeah.
I get it all confused.
Purple pills,
too.
I believe. I don't know.
Yeah, I get it very confused myself.
Yeah, I honestly, and I've not. The thing is, I've not even tried to find out, because I just looked at it and I was like, I don't think I want to know. So I haven't even tried to, find out about all that sort of stuff.
I know, right? Mary, Red Pill Phil, he went by the name Red Pill Phil, but like the saying red pill, that it's kind of like, isn't that like from the Matrix? Like, take the red pill if you want to know the truth, take the blue pill if you want to whatever. I think it's something like that. Yeah, the purple pill is a blue pill, red pill combo. What's the blue pill again? What do you think?
You guys know a lot more than I do, I tell you.
So, I mean, he was called Red Pill Phil, but he had nothing to do with MGTOW at all. I miss that guy. He was actually really nice, Red Pill Phil.
Yeah, because I remember you did a big live with him one time, I think.
Yeah.
I think I did that chat, actually, if I remember rightly.
Yep. Seriously, Meg. Dance monkey dance. Okay. Right, Ginger. I'm gonna join the pink pill too.
Yes. That sounds
good. Oh, actually, I'm gonna be pill free. How about that?
How about that? Yeah. So,
oh, man. Well,
I'm glad we had this chat.
I am too. I wonder when. Okay, so think about this, right? All right, so we had the Watts community that eventually bled into the Natasha community, and then so Jamie.
Well, I spent a lot of time on as Dorothy's mod for quite a while.
Yeah.
In fact, Joe and I were both mods on there for quite a while.
Yep. I remember that.
So yeah, that was my Dorothy days.
Yep. But okay, so you think about how communities form, right? So from somehow Jamie's community bled into Natasha's, all right? The Watts community bled into...
I only heard Jamie's name through Granny's Watching. I'd never heard of him before.
Same.
Until Granny started talking to him and he came up on her panel, and that's when I first ever heard of his name.
Yeah, same with me. I didn't know who he was before either. But you have to figure, okay, so I wonder where it's going to go from here. Because right now, like, we're the Karama, right? So it just makes you wonder, like, what's next? Like, what's going to be the next? Is there going to be another Natasha? Is there going to be another community that bleeds into this one? Or, you know what I'm saying? Like,
I've thought about that as well. I was like, is it ever going to, because it gets close.
Yeah.
Totally imploding completely.
Right.
You know, it really, really does get close to totally just disintegrating. But us clingers on, and I'm one of them, we still seem to hang around somehow.
I know, me too, right? So you got to wonder, like, where is it going to go from here? And sometimes I think to myself, like, when is it going to end, really? You know? Like,
I think it does need another strong character. Whatever people say, I mean, obviously Natasha Cooper was a huge character, and Dorothy's a big character. I mean, whatever you say, whichever side of the fence you're on, I like Dorothy. I've got a soft spot for Dorothy. I know we have our ups and downs. We've fought and we've shouted and we've fallen out and we've but I do have a soft spot for Dorothy.
Same with me.
And she's a massive, massive character. I mean, really, yes. But sometimes she's had me crying, laughing. She does have a sense of humor. She has a big character. And I think we probably do need a couple more. I mean, Jamie's a big character. A lot of people gravitate to Jamie, but I think we do need some more characters, big characters. Because the thing is, I've always liked being on the peripheral. I'm certainly never going to be a big character. I wouldn't want to be. I couldn't possibly be.
Right.
I like being a bit part on the side. I'm very happy doing that.
I hear you.
Um,
Yeah.
yeah. So I don't know. I don't know if someone's going to spring up and be a huge character, or I don't know.
Right. Or what's going to be the next thing that everybody's going to be talking about, or, just where is it going to go from here? It's kind of interesting to think about, So, but yeah, Dorothy, man, she would crack me up.
She
Like,
had me howling. Honest to God, I've literally been laughing and laughing. I mean, when she's on it, oh my God, she's brilliant. She really is brilliant. And then Jamie's the first cartoon that I saw anyway, with you in it and Joe in it and CJ and
that was great.
oh my God, and that'll always be immortalized. That will always be there. And
Mhm.
I think we're lucky to have that in that cartoon form.
Yeah.
Because you're in it, and CJ and Jorah and Dorothy, and I mean, I must have watched that about 20. I kid you not, about 20 times, and it made me laugh every single time.
Oh my God, I did too. I mean, you have to admit it was pretty brilliant to put it in a courtroom form.
It was brilliant.
Oh my
Because
God.
the thing is, with that particular one, it was never. There was no nastiness in it. It was just really funny.
It was hilarious. And I remember being up on the panel, and I remember I came up there because I thought, okay, I'm going to go up and I'm going to try to help because they're getting nowhere. And oh my God, like when you have, okay, CJ and Dorothy both have strong personalities. You know what I mean? So
Yeah.
the two of them
CJ's a
going
big
back and
character.
forth. Oh God, yeah, it was
CJ's
hilarious.
In fact, I think that a lot of people miss CJ's live. She
Mhm.
can definitely carry a show. Like she's a good character. Yeah.
See, I think so too. I mean, I think she can definitely hold her own. She's entertaining. Like
Tin definitely.
she's got a lot more like potential than I think she even thinks knows she
Yeah.
has.
Well,
You
there's
know?
certain people that if I fall out with, I might still watch because I'm still entertained by it, and CJ's one of them.
Yeah.
Like CJ, me and CJ might not be getting on at the moment, but I will still flick over to her lives because it still entertains me. I still
Mhm.
enjoy, I'll still
Even when
watch her.
she's mad, it's entertaining. You
Yeah.
know? Because the way that she oh man, the way that she goes off. I mean, it's hilarious, I mean, and that's kind of how Dorothy would be. Don't get me
Yeah.
wrong. Whenever Dorothy would do her like 20-hour lives, it at the time it got a little bit like, okay, this is horrible because I mean, she would, oh God, she just wouldn't stop sometimes. And
I think there were certain times when certain people have crossed the line. I think people can see that, and nobody likes that. But I
right.
think that's a very small proportion of the character.
Yeah.
I think the bigger proportion is the strong, great character, which is CJ Dorothy. Like I say, I've always gonna have a soft spot for Dorothy. I think she just carried it. I mean, she just you could listen to her,
Mhm.
whether you agreed with her or not. She was one of those people. Certainly, I could listen to her for quite a long time. Maybe not 20 hours, but I could listen to her for a long time.
Oh my God. And like she freaking oh my God, she'd be so funny because quite frankly, she would get so much wrong, right? She would go,
This
she'd
is
be,
true.
oh my God, just
Tell me something.
talking. And I'd be listening going, holy shit, like
And
why is she
she's
saying
never
that?
looked at a chat. Half of a chat going, Dorothy, no, 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 no. She's not looking at a chat at
No,
all.
she doesn't look at her chat whatsoever. In fact, I told somebody recently, I was like, you know what? I think I'm just going to become Dorothy and I'm just going to go live and just rant and ramble and ramble and ramble. And just whoever comes in my chat comes in. I'm not even going to be looking at it. I'm going to stay in my own island and just.
Well, I loved it. I mean, the way she did, she started the field trip. She started that, and
Yeah.
yeah.
Oh my God, let's get on the bus,
Pick up the phone.
Oh man, I hope she's doing okay.
I hope she's doing okay too.
I mean, good for her for like getting out of this, I will
Yeah.
say that. But yeah, I hope she's doing all right. I really do. So, Mary, well, it was brutal for a while there, Mary, at the start, because back then it felt like it was so many against like a few. You know
Yeah.
what I mean?
Yeah.
And anytime there's that dynamic, it's just hard. You know, you feel
Yeah.
kind of outnumbered. Oh, I hate that feeling. So that's the shit I don't miss on here, that I really just don't ever want to go through again. You know, like yeah. I mean, I know like it's impossible to say like there's, you know, I'm never going to get in any kind of fight again. Yeah, right.
Well.
Like, you know, everybody fights on here. It's inevitable. But, you know, I'm going to try to handle it differently. Just going forward, you know.
And I'm the same as well. I've been in the past too involved, where now when you step back a little bit and you know, you don't have to. I think you've said it quite a few times actually. It is YouTube at the end of the day. When we take it too seriously, there's a bit of a problem. Like I know there's a couple of times, not often actually, it's been 5 years, not very often, but a couple of times over the years it has left me really, really upset. I mean, proper crying, you know. And I'm thinking, look, I'm a strong woman. How can YouTube make me cry? This is ridiculous, you know.
Oh my God, it is. And like, yeah. See, when I took like a pretty long break here recently, right? And it really, because I got to a point, I'm like, why the fuck am I letting YouTube upset me to the point where it's like affecting my real life? Like, I'm sorry, but I don't want to be full of anxiety or full of hurt to the point where it's affecting what I'm doing with my daughter or just whatever is going on. Like, no, like I was like, no, it's time to just unplug for a bit. And you know, when I I've learned though, I'm pretty good at taking breaks now. Like just not looking, not barely going on Messenger, because you know that's where a lot of people hit you up to and tell you this, that, and the other. So I mean, it's a good thing to take a break. And
also the sad thing is, Amber, is that once you've been dragged so many times, it just loses its effectiveness, you know.
Yeah, it really does.
The first time you're like, oh my God.
Right.
What, you know, and then, like you said, anxiety. And because I think over the years, I think I've had just specific lives just to have a go at me, just with my name in it. Come one, come all. We're just gonna shit talk on Sagacious. I think I've had 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, maybe 7, 6 maybe, just for me.
Right.
Just to literally let loose and call me every name under the sun. You know, I mean, I've had other lives talking about me, but I mean, just specifically, just me in the title and just going, right, we're just going to go for Sagacious today. That's it, you know? And the first couple of times you're like, oh, crap. And, but then later on you just go, oh, fuck it. Do you know what I mean? Tell me something new, you know? I've heard it all before.
I tell you what, it's a good thing to not watch it when it's going on. It really is. Because what you don't know just won't hurt you, you know. I mean, like especially when it got really bad between me and Jamie, I would just not watch it, and I would tell people, look, if there's something that's like really important that I need to know about, just tell me about it, you know. I just want the cliff notes. I cannot watch it, you know. And that's the thing, like I think it's like, you know, I don't want to say this the wrong way, but I think it's easy for some of the others to say, you know, well, how can you, make peace with this person, or how can you make peace with that person? Listen, when it's you in the fire line, like it's not fun. It's just not fun. I
think going back to our issue years ago, what we were talking about near the beginning of this live, part of the reason I did take that video down as well. There's many reasons, not just one. Like I said, we had that conversation, she got upset, and I'd been through the same thing. That was part of the reason. Part of the reason was I just had enough of. I'd banned the word "bam" in my chat. I didn't want it anymore. Do you know what I mean? And so part of the reason was I just wanted it to stop as well. Do you know what I mean? Because you know, at one point I got dragged to fuck in her chat, like dragged. To fuck. And sometimes you just and maybe it's selfish, but you just want to go, do you know what? Just
You want it to
Do you
stop.
know what I mean? Just stop. Like,
Yeah. And honestly, I can't fault that because listen, it is horrible when that woman drags you. It's absolutely horrible. And, she lets her chat just say whatever the hell they want, you know? So, God, man, if you think about it, like when you're being dragged on here, it almost feels like you're back in high school and it's like you're walking down the hallway and everyone is just pointing and laughing and saying whatever they can to
mm,
hurt you, and it's really it's juvenile as hell if you think about it. Like
mhm.
so many, the funny thing is, like, growing up, I hardly ever fought with anybody. Like, that just wasn't who I was. I pretty much got along with everybody, pretty easy going. So, like, just being on YouTube and having people just not like you just because, right? They just don't like you,
Mhm.
and want to drag you and whatnot. It's like a whole. It's like, wow, man, like this is kind of a new thing, but okay,
Yeah, I
you
get
know,
that. I get that. Yeah,
yeah.
yeah, yeah.
But
I
I
mean,
mean,
for me personally, the first group of people that went for me really was, and obviously, she'll say, "You're bringing me up again." Anyway, you know who I mean. Anyway, in that
yeah,
group of people, so I don't even need to mention the name. And it was like, my God, this whole group of people are just, and I'm sat here going, "What's the worst thing I did? I hadn't done anything." Do you know what I mean? I'm like, what have I done? I don't know. So I was like, wow.
yeah, yeah. It can be brutal. It can really be freaking brutal. God, I remember. Yeah, I think the first person that ever really gave me a proper dragging, I would say, was definitely it was Bam. So, I mean, I guess I kind of had like the worst right out of the gate,
Mm.
you know?
But that's what I say as well. I'm like, sometimes people try and drag us a little bit, and I go, look, it means nothing. I've been dragged by bigger and better than this. You know what I mean? I've had it
Yeah,
all. What you're saying to me right now is peanuts to what I've had before. It's nothing.
right. I mean, you know what? I try to remember that. I think for me though, I think it hurts when it's somebody that you were friends with, you know?
Oh
Like
yeah.
that is that hurts worse than anything. Like when it see that's just it. Like when it was somebody like that you never had a friendship with that just
Oh
wants to
yeah.
drag you just because, they need somebody to drag. That's easy kind of,
Yes. Yes, I
but
get it.
yeah, but when it's somebody that you go back with, that you had a friendship with, and all
Yeah.
of a sudden they are saying the worst things possible about you. And look, I've done it to people too, so I'm not trying to say that I'm innocent, right? It's 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 hard. It
Yeah, it's
hurts.
it's like with Mary and I, like I never wanted to fall out with Mary, and I'm so happy that we're getting on now. It's going to take time. These things do take time because there might still be some hurt there. But I'm so pleased at where we are right now. And but see, there's some people I fall out with. I'm going, good. I don't like them anyway. But with Mary, I never wanted to fall out with her ever. She's
Right.
always a good person. I didn't like it. I never liked it when we were falling. I hated it. I didn't like it. And like I say, we were good friends for such a long time. And in my head, I'm thinking, all I kept thinking was, I hope one day that we can put this behind us and we can make up. And Mary is one of the people that I really, really, really did want to make up with, really, truly.
Yeah. No, I get that. Yeah, Meg, could you please stop? I mean, I'm not dumb. I see what you're doing. I'm trying to ignore it, but like you don't have to keep throwing these insults that I've heard on here before. Like I mean, I like you, Meg, but this is, I mean, honestly, this is why like people have to tell you to stop in chats and stuff. Sorry, it's just
No, no, it's fine. No, listen, if someone's saying something and you want to address it, absolutely. You're up there on panel if someone's saying something.
right. So I mean, just yeah, just please stop. I mean, it's almost like you're trying to like insult me all over again. Like I get it. You hate the guy. No, it's definitely not appropriate, like at all, Tinksy. Meg, honestly, That's not true. I've stood up for you in the past on many occasions, okay? So I don't know when this is you're talking about. All right, I'm not going to go through our history, but I've seen you make comments against me plenty of times, okay? If you're talking about my last live stream, it's very, very simple. I've already told you. I asked you like a few times, please stop what you were doing in chat, and you wouldn't stop. It's kind of, it's stressful for the channel owner when you're fighting in chat. It just is, and it's stressful for me. So I asked you to stop like a few times, and you wouldn't. It's that simple. It's not a big deal. So I don't know when you're referring to, Meg. What am I lying about? So tell me what I'm lying about, Meg. Right, Cerebellum. That's kind of the issue. Just stop with that, please. So I don't know when I didn't stand up for you that you're talking about, but I mean, we can really let this go easily. Okay.
I don't know because I wasn't there, Meg, so I can't comment because I wasn't there.
Yeah, I mean, she was aggravating somebody in my chat. All right. And I asked if she would stop. The person asked her to stop, and she wouldn't stop. So that's pretty much it. It doesn't even mean you have to be blocked forever, but in that situation, you wouldn't stop. But can we please let it go? Okay, I'm not doing this with you, Meg. I'm really not. I don't talk badly of her.
Do you have any private conversations with Amber, like with Meg in email or anything like that? Could you have an email or something? I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, we could.
Meg, why don't you email Amber? See if you can have a conversation.
I said, "Oh, my babies." And okay, I know nothing about whatever that conversation, the one that you're referring to, Smiley. I don't know anything about that. That's between her and him, obviously. But no, Meg, I'm trying to let this go, to be honest, and you keep bringing it back up. I mean, I always tell people Meg is Meg.
Amber, she said that she accepted a Facebook request. Was it yours?
I don't remember, honestly. I think when I made my YouTube account, I think I went down a list of whoever I saw on YouTube. So maybe you're just now getting it. I know I didn't request you last week, but I probably did months ago, and you might just now be getting it. I don't know. But anyway, sorry.
It's all right. I get it. I understand sometimes that people, especially when they see someone on panel. I mean, I don't know anything about it, but sometimes they want to ask a question. But I honestly don't know anything about what the grievance is or anything. I don't know.
Yeah. Meg, actually, I think I've been pretty patient with you, honestly, in the past. Because there's been a lot of times where you would come in my chat and you would, try to poke at people and stuff. So, I mean, can I say the same to you? That, like, it'd be great if maybe you could just, in the future, consider what it's like on my end up there and not aggravate people in the chat. That's it.
I think that what I will say is that as a creator, it's difficult. Like you're running a show, you're looking at the chat, you're trying to have the conversation, and you're trying to keep the chat respectful. And I think that unless you've done lives of your own, you're not going to understand what it's like to be up here.
Right.
So I think, it's when you're in chat, it's easy to go, to say, well, I want my question answered. But it's very different when you're having a conversation up on panel. And unless you do lives, you're not going to understand that concept, maybe.
Right. I mean, Meg, you be honest, you knew that you were getting under that person's skin, and you kept doing it. So, all right. Well, if Meg's done, then I'm done.
I wish I could get Mary back up. I cannot believe I cannot drop the link again. I'm so frustrated. I wish I could get Mary back up again. I can't drop the link for anybody.
That's
It's
crazy.
so frustrating. And the thing is, I probably could reboot my laptop, but it would end my StreamYard. So the show would probably, the live would probably stop, because it would obviously, if I rebooted my laptop, it would stop the stream, I'm guessing. So I can't reboot it. Like, I'm literally just following this on my own YouTube. I'm watching my live on my YouTube. I can't even see it on my laptop.
Oh my God.
So I can't mute. I can't drop the link. I can't do anything. All I can do is what I can do in my YouTube app.
That
It's
is
so
frustrating.
frustrating. And it's funny, do you know, when I started this live, I thought, oh, maybe I should pin the StreamYard link, and I was so close to pinning it. If I'd have pinned it, it would have been fine.
Right.
Oh no.
Oh, damn. Well, you probably weren't expecting this, though. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Wow, this is really, this has been quite the Watts Island OG chat.
Reunion. Yes.
You know? Yeah.
All we need now is Dorothy to come in.
I know,
and
right?
Rapid Dog and Kelly, and we'll all be back.
Oh, man. How long have you been on YouTube?
So I think I've said this quite a few times, but I think that my first, when I set up a YouTube channel, basically just because I wanted to know how it worked. Basically, I wanted a channel. I saw YouTube. I was like, oh, I'm just gonna see how it works. And actually, when I first started, I was trying to throw little montages of my kids, which is ridiculous now, because I wouldn't do it now. But I was so naive and green. But I thought, well, that'd be a good way to save things, for posterity, for later. I can do a little montage of my kids, my grandchildren. And I quite like taking photographs. So there was like montages of scenery pictures that I'd taken and things like that.
Mm-hmm.
And then I was flicking around YouTube, and it was actually Kelly the Advocate came up, and I was watching true crime, because I'm interested in true crime, and I watched a bit of AD, and I was okay, and I just sort of fell into it, and then I got on with Kelly really well. I got on with Kelly really, really well, just straight away. And then at first she was asking people to come up, and at that time, 5-6 years ago, it was all quite new, this coming on lives and clicking links and stuff. Like now,
Right.
it's every day, but at the time it was like, and I remember saying to Kelly, do I have to download an app? Do I have to? I didn't understand any of it. She said,
Yeah.
oh, no, just click that link and we'll pop up. I was like, okay. And I clicked the link, popped up. I probably didn't say 5 words, I don't think, maybe a little bit. So nervous, so naive. And I remember after, I couldn't watch the live back for about 2 or 3 days. I daren't watch it back because I didn't want to hear my own voice. And I was like, oh no, I'm going to sound really stupid. This is terrible. What have I done? This is stupid. Oh no, this is awful. And it took me 2 or 3 days, and then I watched it back on the replay, and I was like, actually, I don't sound that bad. I just sound like a normal person up on a panel. And then I started going up more. I got a bit more confidence, and started going up more on Kelly's. And I thought, actually, I quite enjoy this. And there was times when I thought I might have something to say. So I just thought, well, I'll start. It was very, very organic like that. There was no plans around it. Do you know what I mean? It was just organic the way it worked. And I thought, do you know what? I'll try that StreamYard malarkey. I'll see what happens. And, and it was just very much like that.
Yeah. Oh, that's right. I remember it used to be back in the day, at least when I first came on, it was about making videos, So if you had something to say about somebody, you kind of had your say on a video and uploaded it, At least that's how I did it for a long time. And I didn't, you know what? I put off going live for the longest time. I was like, I don't want to do it. It stresses me out. I don't want to put up with fighting in the chat. I don't, And sure enough, I mean, I've gotten a lot better with handling it now, you know?
Yes, and
Like,
that just comes with it just comes with doing it, doesn't it? Like,
yeah,
um, I know it's so funny. Do you see when people first start doing lives and you can see the mistakes they're making that we made when we first started, and you can see, and you're like, right, they'll grow, they'll get it. Just leave
yeah,
them to it, they'll get it. You know what I mean? But you've got to go through the pitfalls yourself. Like if someone tells you certain things, you don't really get it. You've got to go through it.
yep,
And I hope, right, I'm going to mention Replay now. She'll probably kill me, but she's one of my mods, and I like Replay a lot, but hopefully she won't kill me. I'm saying it in the nicest possible way. But when she first started, it was like a free for all. And I was like, oh my God, I can't, because she was like, scared she don't come up panel. I'm like, I'm not going up on that panel. Everyone's screaming, shouting, going for it. There's no control.
right.
But I thought to myself, do you know what? She's just starting. She'll get it. She'll get it. She will learn to control a panel. She'll
Yep,
learn to not be a free for all. But you have to go through it to get it. And now she gets it. Do you know what I mean? When you first start, it is, sometimes because you come on, don't you, Amber? When you first start, you go, I'm gonna have everyone on. Everyone can have
yep,
their say. Everyone's welcome. You can all say what you like, and of course, there's people fighting left, right, center. You go, oh my God, I better calm this down. And then you need to understand that you do need restrictions. You do need to sort of rein it in a little bit.
oh yeah. Like you kind of have to set like ground rules.
Yeah.
And I've been guilty in the past, and and I don't, and I'm not saying this about one specific person. I mean, a few people have tried to come up and tell me who I need to block or who I need to, you know what I mean? And I won't do that again. Like I'm not no, like nobody is going to control my shit but me. You know what I'm saying? And
And I respect that more. I think that you had an issue with me, which quite rightly, because I think quite a few times I'd say, oh, I was just weak. And what I
mhm,
meant by that was you did let people influence you a lot
yeah.
in what you said and did on your own channel, in fact. And the
Yep.
fact that you're saying that now, look, I'm not going to do that now. You can all fight about it in chat, but I'm going to do what's right for me, have who I want up, talk to who I want, say what I want to say. And I actually respect that more.
Yeah. No, I know like people have called me that in the past. And real quick, Meg, okay, you don't have to freak out, okay? Like if I sent you a request, it was a while ago. It definitely wasn't like it wasn't last week. I'll tell you that. But
Amber,
it
would you mind if I just pop to the toilet? I'm so sorry. I
yeah,
need to
go
go, and
for it.
I can't mute. You won't hear me because it's in another room, but I can't mute. I can't do anything. So I'm just gonna pop to the loo.
Yeah, go for it. But if it was, is it an account? Is the name Amber Lee? Like that's my YouTube, Facebook. So I probably did send you one a while back, and you probably just got it. I wouldn't panic though. And honestly, Meg, I forget to check that account quite often. So I mean, I can't do it right this minute because I'm on my phone, but I would relax. I don't. It, chances are it probably was me, but I definitely sent it a while ago. I didn't just send it. I'll tell you that. But yeah, when I first made that YouTube account, I pretty much just, if I saw anybody from YouTube, I was like, friend, 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 friend. I decided to make two accounts because like my one Facebook account has like, everybody, everyone in my family pictures, like all of it. They go back years, like tons and tons of baby pictures and pictures, and and I decided. I mean, there's a few people that have like friended on that account, but for the most part, I felt bad like not accepting everyone's friend requests from YouTube, but I just couldn't. I couldn't risk it. So I made another account just for YouTube. But what was I gonna say? But yeah, no, I know, like, listen, I've gotten called weak quite a bit on here, and I know I can come across that way. I think it's because, like, I hate confrontation. I hate it when people fight. And I hate it when it's two people that I like that are fighting.
Yeah.
And I just kind of freeze up and I don't really know what to do. You know what I mean? But yeah, I think I've gotten better over time, and I've learned. You learn things along the way. You know what I mean?
Definitely. And you have to actually go through it, and
Mhm.
yeah, you can only learn by experience. Like, you can't, like, people can't say certain things. It is by experience, by going through, stuff.
Yep. Yeah, absolutely. And, like, don't get me wrong. Sometimes I wish more than anything I could be one of those people that just fire it up and lose their fucking mind, over anything, or just say what the fuck they want to say and not think about it. I mean, but it's just not me, sadly.
I know
I
there's,
take
there's
everything
definitely.
for
I know when I come live, I'm fully aware of other things going on. It's like you said, sometimes I wish I could just be really open, but I've got to think of other people and go, right, I can't say that because I can't, because I don't really want to talk about that topic because they'll be pissed off, or I don't know, so I find myself quite restricted sometimes in what topics I want to talk about, because, I don't know, do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Put my foot in it or cause problems, or,
Yep. But I think the biggest lesson is really, like, and look, it absolutely sucks being a people pleaser on this platform, because you do have to learn. There's just no way in hell you're going to please everybody at all, so you kind of just have to do what feels right for you. And if somebody gets mad, they get mad, but they'll either get over it and still be your friend, or they won't,
Yeah.
So yeah, but it's just hard to navigate things on here sometimes,
I agree with that 100%. I really, really do. It is hard to navigate. I've always been pretty good at going in other people's chats, though. I've never let people dictate to me where I can go. I've always been pretty good at that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I
which is
would
good.
say so.
And I've always been good at not doing group chats. I've been very good at that. Thank God, that's saved me
Oh God,
so
girl.
much traumas.
God, I don't think I've ever seen anybody, like, throw up your private screenshots and shit. Oh, that's the worst.
There isn't any. Honest to God, there isn't any. When I say I'm not in group chats, I'm not in group chats. I speak to very few people offline. I used to speak to Kelly off YouTube. I used to speak to Mary off YouTube. Obviously, everyone knows I spoke to Jora a lot off YouTube before.
Yeah.
And Sandra, my friend Sandra, I speak to sometimes. And that's about it. Honestly, that's about it.
Yeah. And honestly, you're smart. You're really, really smart. I mean, it's, for a minute there, I think, well, I was just speaking to way too many people, because I think when you first, like, come on, you're just trusting of everybody, and you just want to think the best. And
Yeah, I was like that. I came on with my full bloody name. And I'm like, I look back and go, what the hell did you do that for?
Yeah. Oh, I oh my God. Yeah. My channel, when I first was on here, was literally my full fucking name.
Yes, mine was.
Oh my
Ridiculous.
God. Like, but you know what? And I'll tell you what happened. It's kind of funny thinking back. Because, see, whenever I had a YouTube channel, before any of this Watts case or anything, I just had my dance videos, and I wanted my students to be able to look me up and see my stuff. So of course, why would I not have my full name?
I had pictures of beautiful sunsets and things like that I'd taken. That's how I started.
Oh, I even had a video of my daughter up. Like,
yes,
hold on. Like, it was a cute little video. She was tap dancing and everything. But I remember I started fighting with people on Miss Menz's channel. Okay. And some of them started coming in my comments, and I'll never forget this one. This was like right out of the gates. One of them came over and said, well, Amber Thompson from Georgia, I know that you teach at this studio called blah, 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 blah. And I was like, what the hell? Like, how did they look all this up that quick? And why did they look all this up that quick? And
So that is the only thing that really, really gets to me here. Not that the name, call it fine, whatever. Do you know what I mean? It's when people start digging into your real life. I hate it. I absolutely hate it because,
I do too.
as you say, well, we all know, we're all, us mothers, we're so protective of our families, and that's the only thing that and our jobs as well. I can't stand it when people talk about other people's jobs, because I think anyone that gets out of bed and goes to work, whatever I don't care if you're working at McDonald's, I don't care if you're
Right.
I don't care what you're doing. If you're getting out and working, that should be protected. No one should go near someone's job. I mean, that,
Yeah, I agree. I mean, just keep it to freaking YouTube. It's not hard. Like, there's plenty to pick on here. Like, we don't, you don't really have to go that low and dig and all that crap, but it was actually, believe it or not, it was actually Granny Fanny that told me. He was like, look, I need to have a conversation with you. And I was like, what? Get this, okay? He was like, your whole Instagram and your whole Facebook is completely open.
Yeah,
like
I had people tell me that, Amber, and I didn't even
yes.
know, because I had a Instagram, and because I'm so old, I set it up about, God knows, 4 or 5 years ago, and I didn't understand it, so I left it. I
Yeah.
hadn't been on it in years. I hadn't been near it, hadn't touched it, forgot it was there for years. And then someone said, oh, by the way, you've got an Instagram and la 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 la, and it's got your name on it. And I had to go in and change all that. And I forgot it was even there. I hadn't been on it for years. And I had to go back and change a lot of things because it had my fucking name on again.
Right. Like, oh my God. Yeah. I mean, of course I put my stuff to private and whatnot, and seeing now, like, I don't even have my friends list open or anything. I'm like, no, because what people will do is they'll even go like into your friends and start messaging random people on your friends list. Like, that's
on my YouTube, I locked it down to friends only specifically because of YouTube.
Yep.
And that was about 3 years ago. 3 or 4 years ago, and because it was all public, blah blah blah.
Yeah.
And specifically because of YouTube, because of what I've seen happen on YouTube, I locked it down to friends only, and I will never ever ever have anyone, nobody from YouTube on my Facebook. Nobody.
Yeah,
I mean, the closest person, as you know, the closest person I've ever got to from YouTube is Jora. But Jora and I have always had that thing where we both said to each other when we started chatting, I said, we're not being rude, but I don't want you on my Facebook. She said, I don't want you on my, I don't think she even has Facebook, but she understood. She was like, no, that's fine. Don't worry about it. I was like,
yeah,
okay, cool. But because when I say nobody, I mean nobody.
That's smart, because see, I have let like a select few, like Mary, she's my Facebook friend, but Mary's not going to do anything to you. You know what I mean? Like, yeah, there's been some where I kind of let my guard down, and I probably shouldn't have. But
the thing is, you could maybe see if that happened, especially if you had more than one. If you had, like, say 4 or 5, so say you've got 5, and say if one thing happened that came from your private Facebook, you'd be side-eyeing all 5 of them, and 4 of them are completely innocent. Do you know what I mean? So there's all that as well.
I know, right? And see, and then this sucks too. But I mean, people prove that they were doing it in the past few months. They'll go to your family's Facebook, and your family doesn't realize they have to lock everything down. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Oh God.
And even the pictures, because sorry. Yep. No, it's even on Facebook, because I know people can still see my profile picture. Mm-hmm. So I'm cautious of what that is. Like, previously, I might have had my profile picture with my grandchildren, something like that. I won't do that because they can still see that. And also my top photo is my dog that passed away a couple of years ago, is Charlie, my dog. So very, things that people can't run with, sort of thing, And I even though my Facebook is locked down, I know there's people from YouTube try to look me up. I know it.
Of course. Yeah.
So yeah, my top picture is my dog and my my profile picture is me. You know, I won't have my family in my profile picture or my top picture because of YouTube.
Right. I tell you what, like oh man, there was one night, this was absolutely freaking horrible. This was this was a while ago. This was like last year, right? And I had a lot of people coming at me. Because, you know, I was up on panel with Jamie every night, so I had a lot of haters. But this one night, it was whoever was behind the Coward Buster channel. Okay, they removed they removed everything off of that. Okay, and they started uploading these shorts, and I'm talking my brothers, my mother, my daughter, my grandmother. I mean, bam, bam, like one after the other. And I didn't draw attention to it or anything, but I mean, it was horrible. And they just kept doing it and doing it. And I was like, oh my God, it felt so just invasive. And
I knew you was going to say that.
Yeah.
No, exactly.
Oh, it was horrible. I mean, what they did is they clearly what they did is they looked at my family and went to their Facebook pages. And, you know, some of my family has photos open because they don't know, you know, and I feel weird telling them like, hey, look, you need to buckle all that down because I've got some weirdos.
Well, listen, Amber, if I said to my family, my sisters, I've got 3 sisters I'm really close to, but I don't talk about YouTube to them because I think I'm mad. And if I did approach one of my sisters and said, look, this, you know, I quite enjoy my YouTube channel, but some people, you know, there's trolls, they don't like me, they might look me up, blah, blah, blah. They would immediately tell me to shut it down. Yep. Like they would say, shut it down and don't go on it again.
Well, and honestly, I remember I was like beating myself up the whole night because I kept thinking, oh my God, my brothers don't deserve this. Like my mother doesn't deserve this. Like they have no part in any of this bullshit, you know? So, I mean, I felt really, really, truly horrible. And of course I wasn't going to like show it to them, but I just kept thinking, how can I get this down? Like, this isn't fair. I mean, it was like their full names, like pictures off their Facebook. It was, oh God, it was horrible. It was absolutely horrible.
I hope now that you have spent, because I actually allotted a time period of my life to restrict my social medias. You know, I set an allotted time and it took me, and I went through everything. And I hope you've done that, Amber. I hope that you've looked at all any social medias that you've got, and that you have locked it all down, so people can't do that. If they look your name up, all they will see is very basic.
Oh yeah, my stuff is locked down. Like people can't even see my friend. Like if I do accept any friend, they can't even see my friends list. Like I've
taken that off too. Yeah, they can't see. Yeah,
no, it's all completely locked down. So yeah, so again, what they would have to do is they have to look up my family and start going on their pages. And I probably do need to tell them, like, look, this is going to sound weird, but please lock your stuff down. Like, you know, because it's not fair, and I don't want that to happen to them again. You know, so hopefully
that is my biggest fear on here. It's not people calling me names or whatever. I honestly don't care that much. My biggest fear is someone getting in touch with my sisters or my kids, or, you know, that is my biggest fear. You know?
Yeah. Oh God, I know, right? That's, and see, like my daughter's getting older, you know what I mean? So who knows? I mean, that's honestly going to change quite a bit for me on here, you know, because I don't know. I don't want her friends to ever, because I remember Kelly the Advocate, she had a situation where her daughter was being bullied because her daughter's friends were coming across her YouTube.
All right.
And they were like, what the hell is this? And bullying her about it. And I just don't want that to ever happen.
No, see, I'm so lucky. My kids are adults. They're 28 and 24.
Yeah.
So they just leave me to it. They just think of it as mum's hobby. Do you know? They know that I've backed away quite a lot. So they know I don't go on YouTube as much as I used to. And they know I do live sometimes, but they don't really take much interest, but they know about it. But they're adults. they're adults. And I remember,
Right.
but I do talk about, especially about, like my youngest daughter doesn't want any pictures of her up at all, and I respect that. My eldest daughter, we went, oh God, again about a year ago, we went away together, and I took this snap of us on a train, and I was like, oh, that's a nice picture. Am I allowed to put it on my Facebook? And she said, oh yeah, I don't care. So I asked her permission first. I wouldn't do it without her permission, and she was fine. She didn't care.
I just have to say, you do not look like you have a 28-year-old. Like,
Oh, thank you.
no way. I've got to get that out there. You don't look like you could have a 28-year-old at all. So, yeah. But, and, and I worry too, like, my God. Okay. So think about how like people get dragged on here, right? So just imagine like growing up with this kind of stuff. Like, oh my gosh. I mean, they've already told us like the middle school, because my daughter will be in middle school next year. And, they told us during orientation that kids are using social media to bully. Like it's the brand new tool to bully somebody with, So
It is scary. My granddaughter starts senior school in September. So she's just turning 11 next month, and she's starting a first year of senior school. And she's grown up such a hell of a lot in the last year. And, one of the biggest fears for me and her mum is social media and all that. It's the internet and that.
Yep, absolutely. I mean, gosh, they're growing up with a whole different thing than we grew up with, Like I thank God they didn't have this stuff when I was growing up, because
And she loves her phone. I said to my daughter, I was like, "Are you still checking her phone?" She said, "Oh yeah." In fact, what my granddaughter doesn't know is that Sarah actually has her notifications cloned on her phone. So my daughter doesn't even have to look at her phone to check her phone. She can see what she's doing. And you have to do that because my granddaughter, she loves her phone. I mean,
yeah,
she's always on her phone and stuff. So, and she's the sweetest girl in the world. But the fact is, other people out there are not so sweet. So,
right. No, God, I know. There's a lot of mean people out there, So yeah. Yeah, that's how old my daughter is. She'll be 12 in October. So
probably a year older. My granddaughter will be 11. What we in July next month? She's 11 next month.
Aww. See, and it's weird to even think when I started YouTube, my gosh, I think she was like, what? She had to be 6 or 7 years old. Wow. Yeah, I've been on here a long time. I think Ginger mentioned something about Miss Menza. Yeah, Ginger, that's what actually that's what compelled me to make a video, because I got sucked into watching her channel and I thought, this crazy lady, like,
I can't stand it, honestly, but I can't stand the woman. I
I can't either. And you know what? She's still doing the same
Still
shit.
doing it.
Night after night, live
Still
after
right now.
live.
Still now. God.
Yes, it's every night. It's Shanann Watts this, Shanann Watts that. Like, what more? You would think, like, what more does she have to say about this person? But she
I
just
can't
keeps.
believe she's still going. I just can't believe it.
I mean, what? We're going on how many years now? Yeah, she's still going strong.
5, 6, it's coming to 6 years, I think.
Unbelievable. Like, but that's what made me make a video, is I was like, this lady is out of her freaking mind. Like, this is pure hate. That's all this is, it made me so mad, because I mean, that case, like, just it got to me more than I think any case ever has.
I think everyone, well, certainly in this community, we were so involved. Like, I think looking back, too involved now. Looking back, I will never get that involved again. Never.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, I agree. I mean, I think for me, like, I kept thinking, like, okay, the kids, Bella and Cece, they were around the same age as my daughter was at the time. So that's all I could think about, was how could somebody do this to a young kid like this? How? And I think that's what drew me in. And then just the whole just mystery of it, like, how can, this picture perfect family, how did it go wrong? Everything that went along with it. But yeah, we all got sucked in, didn't we?
Certainly did. It certainly did. And I think, like I said, I will never do it again. It was a chapter. But I mean, AD, it wasn't just a case of me coming up and saying, oh, I hate AD, and waving banners. I really was upset about it. Genuinely, I was genuinely upset
Yeah.
that he could do this. He's making an absolute fortune out of this case. He could at least be respectful to the victims that he's talking about. And I felt he was just so disrespectful.
Yeah.
And I felt really, really strongly about it. It wasn't like, oh, I'm just going to come up and join in this, because I've got nothing better to do. I really felt strongly about it.
No, I get it. I totally get it. I mean, that case just made me feel strongly about everything. So, yeah, I mean, there was definitely a point in time where I kind of, don't get me wrong, I kind of felt like, okay, this is a little bit, okay, let's put it this way. It confused me why they were only focused on AD when there was so many creators that were, I mean, like Miss Moonza.
I think because he was the first one. I think to us anyway, it seemed like he was the first one to capitalize.
Yeah, I think you're right. And he did make a fortune out of that case. I mean, he milked it as long as he could, and probably still is for all we know. I haven't watched him, but I'm sure he has. I can't believe he got taken off of YouTube. Oh my God. Like,
I think for me as well, like, because we did watch a lot of him, I mean, far too much. Again, I wouldn't do it now, but I'm going to admit it. I watched him all the time. I watched pretty much every live he did at one point, and he was literally watched. Every word he said was watched and analysed. And there was certain things that he did that really, really pissed me off. Like the things that when he come up and he said, "Oh yes, I've paid for eight children's funeral. I've been up and I've paid for it." Well, no, you haven't. No,
right.
You fucking haven't. Do you know what I mean? There's things like that I'm just shaking my head, going, "No, you didn't."
Right.
Oh, look, crock of shit. Things like that, and I'd literally be behind the screen, like shaking my head, going, "You fucking liar!" Do you know what I mean? And it was infuriating, but I will never ever get that involved again. I was really into it, really, and I just won't.
Yeah, I mean a lot of us were, and Ginger, that's exactly what it is. And look, it's still going on now. Look at again, like I said earlier, like the Summer Wells case and the Sebastian case. It's just, I don't know. It's
I think
pretty
that's probably another reason why I don't watch creators who talk about it, because I've been through it all with AD and I got really sucked in, and I don't want to go that sucked in ever again. So, like I said, I love true crime. I love listening to trials and the cases and the prosecution and the defense, and I love all that, and try to learn things from that. But for me, just a creator coming up and chatting and going, "Oh, this sounds wrong and that sounds wrong," and shadows and this and that, it's not for me. It's not for me.
Right. No, I get it, because I found myself kind of going down the rabbit hole, and I got kind of just watching different creators that I never really gave a chance to. And I mean, now I see why, but there's a lot of them that are just doing the exact same thing, just with different cases, and it's just disheartening. It's like, I don't know. I mean,
it is, but as I say, I will never jump in again. I'll leave people to it. I will never jump in and say, "Oh, you can't do this and you can't do that," because it didn't really get us anywhere. It didn't really. And then actually, and I'm going to be completely honest, because I'm not but honest, even to my own detriment usually, but it got to a point where I still think AD is an absolute tool, but the pendulum swung the other way, where people were following him in his social life, and I didn't like that. I didn't like that, so it was like, oh my God, well, I don't like that. I remember there was a time when someone talked about the curtains he had in his hotel.
Oh my God, yeah, I know. See, and that kind of stuff bothered me. Like when they went to his poker tournaments and stuff. Like,
I didn't like it.
Yeah, it's like, come on, let's see. Ginger, were you around for the Watts case too? Yeah, I agree with that. It was just hard to wrap my mind around, like, how in the world could this guy do this? It blew my mind. And you know what I will say, and I think I've said this in the recent, but I'm still kind of amazed that Nicole Kessinger has, like, not even come out to do a single interview. You know, I mean, she's smart.
Yeah,
not
she is
to.
smart. I mean, I've thought this right from day one. She's gone, right, I don't want this in my life. I want a different, I don't want anything to do with it. And she stuck by it. That's
Yeah.
it. She wants nothing to do with it. She wants to remove herself as far, far away from it. And that's what she's done. And she stuck by it.
Yeah. I mean, she hasn't capitalized off of it. She hasn't, you know what I mean? Because she could find ways to make money from it, and she
Listen,
hasn't.
She could just write a pamphlet, a little book,
Yep.
and it would make millions.
Yep.
You know, she wouldn't even have to. She'd only have to do like 2 chapters, and it would sell out. You know,
Right.
she hasn't.
Mm-mm. She hasn't done a single thing. So I do respect her for it.
And
she's,
you know what I find really, really interesting, Amber, is that yes, I can understand that, but she must have a really close knit friends and family, because none of her friends and family have sold her out. That's what intrigues me.
yeah.
None
that's
of
a
her
good point.
friends or anyone she went to school with or any of her best friends or any of her family, a rogue uncle or something. Nobody has sold her out. Not one.
Right. Like, bye, Sarah Bellum. Thanks for coming in.
Oh, thanks, Sarah.
That is nuts. Like, why you would think one person from her past, like, yeah, I knew her in elementary school. I knew her as a kid. I dated her. Like, nobody. That's weird. I mean, we've had some fakes. Like, I remember, well, no, this guy said he was friends with, no, he did say he knew Nicole Kessinger. Okay, he came on Cher's show, actually. And he
surprise, didn't see it.
right. I know, right? But he claimed he was friends with Chris, good friends with Chris, knew Nicole, knew Shanann, good friends with Shanann. This guy even photoshopped himself in a picture with Shanann. And
Never.
oh, it was horrific. Now I will say, it was actually, it was Cher's boyfriend that was questioning things and was like, this guy isn't making any sense. And like, it was so weird. I remember he did his interview, like, get this, from the freaking, he had gone to the plasma bank by Tinksy to donate plasma, and he was doing the StreamYard from there. Like, it was so weird. It was like I don't know if it was kind of like a setup to make himself look like he needed money. You know what I mean? It was bizarre. The whole thing was bizarre. But yeah, he had a whole channel, and you know, it turns out he had done a few videos talking about Cece and Bella, talking about how he knew them and whatnot. Well, he completely got figured out because it was Cher's boyfriend was asking the questions. He was like, this isn't right. Cher wanted to believe it, but her boyfriend was like, no. And then he actually found the picture that he photoshopped himself in. This guy had taken a picture of Shanann and Chris and photoshopped himself where Chris was. Like, totally just wrong, you know?
It's so murky, isn't it? It's just so murky and so horrid.
Yeah. Like, what do people get from that? You know what I mean? Like,
well, money, usually at the end of the day, they're trying to get cash, I think.
Yeah, I think so too. But yeah, there was so much he said that didn't add up and didn't make any sense. And then he tried to sell, he tried telling us, he was like, well, you know, Nicole Kessinger was really into the black magic and the witchcraft. Like,
oh, not the Kundalini. No,
yeah.
Can't go down the Kundalini again.
Oh, man. And do you guys remember when AD would have pictures of like somebody he found on Google Maps and he'd be like, I think I found Nicole Kessinger.
Yes! Like, because it looks like her and I think the dog looks like her dog. Oh, shut up.
Yes. He's like, look at the brown ponytail. Look at the hat. I think it's her. Like, oh my God. Really?
Yeah.
yeah, that oh God, that case got absolutely nuts. Good
It's
night,
crazy. And
Jinxie.
as we're speaking, more things come back to me, and I just see how ridiculous it is. Do you know? I mean, do you remember that video? He was losing his head a bit, and you remember that video that AD did when he was walking on them lights? I could never get my head around that.
I don't
And
remember that.
But oh my God, everyone knows it. When he did this video, he completely lost his mind, and he's walking around, and I think he more or less threatened to jump himself off a bridge. And he's got these weird lights in his eyes, like these lights shining on him, and he's walking around with his eyes wide open. He looked on something. I'm not even okay. I shouldn't really go down that route, but he looked like he'd taken something he shouldn't.
Wow.
And he was talking about jumping off a bloody bridge. I mean, even I at that point, I can't stand the man. Even I was like, wait a minute, this is bad. Like this is bad. Like we don't want him to do anything bad. Do you know what I mean? I was, oh, that was
Right.
weird. So, does anyone else remember that? By the way,
God, I don't remember that at all. I mean, it doesn't surprise me though.
That was weird.
Was it a live stream?
Yes. Even I
Oh,
was like, oh my
God.
God, this is bad. This is bad. He might actually hurt himself. We don't want that. Oh God. Anyway, it's weird. It just everything was weird. Everything about it, that whole thing was weird.
Yeah, it got bad. Well, I think I'm gonna get off of here because I am starving. It just like kicked in and
Oh God, that reminds. Actually, yeah. Thank you so much for coming. I'm just thinking how I'm going to end the live because I can't get my StreamYard up. What I'm probably going to do is, people in chat will have to bear with me. This live is probably going to run for about another 5-10 minutes, so I can reboot my laptop and boot myself off because I cannot do anything with StreamYard. I'm on my YouTube and I can't close this live down from my YouTube. So if chat amongst yourselves for a little bit while I try and get rid of this live, not get rid of it, but you know what I mean, stop it because I literally don't know how I'm going to do that, but I will work it out. Thank you, Amber, so much for coming up, and I do hope, and I mean this I wouldn't have done this for any other reason without hope that it does allay some animosity, and I hope that goes forward.
Yeah, absolutely. Thank you for having me up. And yeah, don't be a stranger. You're, welcome in chat anytime you want. So yeah.
Okay.
But
All right,
thank
I'm
you.
gonna let you go. You're gonna have to drop yourself down because I have no control.
All right. Good night, y'all.
All right, thank you so much. Thank you, and thanks everyone in chat for being gracious and understanding. And to JD, I'm sure Amber and Joe will reach out to you. I know they care for you very, very much. So, but we understand. Okay, so take care, everyone. This chat is going to be running for a little bit because I need to reboot my computer. Rebooting my computer might switch this live off. I don't know if it's going to, but somehow I'm going to turn off my computer now. Oh, wait a minute. Live. All right, end stream. I don't know if I'm still here, but I'm ending stream now. I've got my computer running. Thanks, everybody. Thank you so much. Thank you, Amber. Thank you, Jora, for doing that live earlier. Thank you, Mary. Take care, everyone. Good night.